Welcome to the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day.
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal! You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
It goes high up and under the full foot. Becky's taken a ripper!
Makes a name for himself with these long bombs from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc!
Hello and welcome along to Saturday afternoon amateur footy here on VAFA SEN's Match of the Day. It's round 4 of the 2026 VAFA William Buck Premier Men's campaign, and today we reconvene at Camberwell Sportsground where the stage is set for a rematch of last year's grand final. Old Scotch came from the clouds last season to produce a memorable run that saw them make it all the way to the final day of the season, but they've not been able to replicate that form so far in 2026, sitting outside the relegation places by percentage only, having lost their last 3 games of the year, including a 43-point defeat to Old Haileybury last week. There is still plenty of time to catch up though, and back on home soil today will provide the Cardinals the perfect opportunity to kickstart their campaign. Last year's Premiers Old Brighton had been ticking along nicely, winning their first 3 games of the year, and things were looking good when they led by 29 points entering time onto the third term against the University Blacks last week, but the Blacks stormed home to inflict the Tunners' first defeat of the year and their first loss at home in 20 starts, dating back to 2023. Marcel Bruin's men will be itching to make amends here this afternoon. This is VAFA SEN Match of the Day, thanks to William Buck and live streaming on VAFA TV. Matthew Donald with you again this afternoon, and joining me, it is a pleasure to welcome the 2-time Premiership coach, 3-time Coach of the Year with Elston Wick, Hugo Higginbotham. Hugo, good afternoon to you.
Hello, matey. Great to be here in this historic grandstand we are at in the beautiful suburb of Camberwell. And what a day we've got here. The grand final rematch, Matty.
It's always special.
If someone had told you that they'd both be coming off a loss the week prior, you'd say they were mad. These two teams that have been the benchmark of the competition for the last few years, and it's great to see, I think, coming into a game like this where both sides will be looking at this as a must-win. From Brighton's perspective, they want to bounce back after that let's be frank, train wreck of a last quarter last week where they witnessed the away macking show. Apparently it was on display there, if anyone gets a chance to review that. And then Scotch, who, look, to be quite honest, their run hasn't been great of late. They're a new-look Scotch, and if someone had told me that Scotch would have conceded 120 points 2 weeks in a row, I would have said, you're mad. But what do I know? But it's exciting, it's great, and it's a beautiful day for football here.
A couple of aberrations really setting up some interesting dynamics in it all, because, yes, you wouldn't think that Old Brighton with a 30-point lead late in the third term would lose in that situation, and Old Scotch to concede 240 points in a fortnight. Very unlike both of those sides to do that. So it has things poised quite nicely today.
Yeah, it does. But the Old Brighton one, so, they were minus 18 in the inside 50s last week. Overall for the game. So that's a big margin. Which shows you their forward line's very efficient. I know in that last quarter, I think, there was a little bit of panic set in to a certain extent where there's a lot more long kicking down the line, which is not in Brighton's DNA. They can pick sides apart with that really fast ball movement of inside 45s, finding that loose player, using the overlap, that really good run from behind, and so away Mackie was able to pick the ball off, and that must have been an amazing run in those last sort of 10 minutes or so. And I've got an interesting number for you. So last week was the lowest contested possession count for Old Brighton with 128 that they've had under Marcel Bruin's tenure. Wow. Which may indicate a little bit of the changing in the guard. I know a few of their inside mids have moved on. Both of these sides are very different look sides to what we saw in that grand final last year. So with that comes an element of learning the system, learning the structure, where those two sides are very experienced and play a lot of footy together in that grand final last year. It's almost they could kick to the space and know that a player was there. And with the structured game that we play now, if someone's not 100% up with the plan or holding their position where they should be or moving to the right spot, that's when it breaks down. And that's what we saw with Scotch last week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Particularly after quarter time, they started so well. Old Scotch, we were at that game, ACN's match of the day, as we recap the scores from last week. Old Scotch Princes Park against Old Haileybury. Old Haileybury winning 19-10, 124 to Old Scotch 11-15, 81. And that inaccuracy in front of goal, particularly in the second half, proved very costly in a match that might otherwise have been reasonably close to that point, Hugo.
Oh, matey, that was amazing. It was interesting to watch because that was a run of 11 behinds. Yeah. And at the end of that first quarter, I think it was... It was
5-2 to 3-2?
Yeah, 5-2 to 3-2. Angus Jones missed a pretty easy one too. Yeah. So left one on the table out there. And then, there was goals missed from dead in front, and you just can't do it. That's responsibility in front of goals.
Yeah.
Your team works so hard, you've got to get that reward for effort. And, you know, the backman must have been that frustrated. The Scotch backman standing at the other end of the ground go, do I have to come there and kick it for you, you blokes? Come on.
I mean, you would know better than me, and in the modern game as forwards, you've got to be able to do a lot. You've got to compete in the air, bring the ball to ground, provide that pressure around when the ball is in the deck, and not let it exit defense or attacking 50 so easily. Yes. But ultimately, your number one job has got to be create and convert opportunities.
Oh, definitely. But look, one thing, you've got to kick the goals. I mean, if you're running about a 50% ratio, that's probably acceptable. You miss every second one, okay, you can deal with that. But when you're in negative territory, you just can't have that as a coach. One of the most frustrating things. But the other aspect, most important job forward can do is obviously kick the goal, take the mark, that sort of aspect. But next to that is forward defensive pressure with the way these sides play. And Haileybury were able to walk the ball out of Scotch's forward line last week, just with. And Scotch appeared not to be taking away that first option and leaving that first option for Haileybury. And sides will use that. Brighton will use that. Everyone will use that. And that's the first possession in the chain. That starts. Then it breaks down after that because a player up the field feels he has to come in and try and put pressure on that player with the ball. And then you get that overlapped effect. And we saw that plenty of times last week. So I'll be looking for Scotch. Mark Nat's a great coach. Yeah. And I would imagine he's done a bit of work with that this week. We spoke with him yesterday. He identified that as well. So that's what they need to change this week. And it's a pretty simple change. As a player, in your head, all you have to do is take away the easiest option close to you. Take that away, make it hard for the opposition, and every side tries to force the opposition to kick long down the line. I know away Macking loves that.
Yes, no, he does. He was awesome at Brighton Beach Oval last week, which was where Old Brighton fell to University Blacks by 2 points, 11-10-76 to 11-12-78. We said, despite the discrepancy in the inside 50 count, I think the other one was they had 12 inside 50s in the first half, Old Brighton, and yet we're still in front. So perhaps their lead was more a reflection on their efficiency rather than their dominance throughout the course of the match, and then University Blacks eventually made their dominance tell in that final term when they stormed home. Old Brighton still on top of the ladder though after the opening month of the season, a 3-1 record, a percentage of 161.7. Old Scotch, they're sitting in 8th at the moment. Long way to go, but they're only above the relegation zone on percentage. They're sitting at 86% as things stand.
We saw it last year. If they've got a chance in that last game, you'd have to put money on them. Yes. They're the best. They would be great marathon runners, wouldn't they?
No, they would. It is a long way to go. But no, it's that's where they sit after the opening month. This is the pre-game warm-up thanks to Holmes Glen, leading provider of vocational and higher education with 40 years of experience and more than 140,000 graduates. TAFE at its best. It is at this point that I would introduce the rest of the commentary team, but unless Buttons decides that he's going to jump on and provide special comments throughout the course of the afternoon, there is no rest of the commentary team today. Hugo, it's just you and I, so a big job ahead today.
Just the two of us, Matty. That's all right. What a great team.
Hugo Higginbotham, thanks to Hit IQ and its game-changing Protect Concussion Management System, will be helping me out with expert comments right throughout the course of the afternoon.
And a bit of boundary work too.
Well, you're going to be getting your 10,000 steps up today, Hugo. That there's no doubt. You'll be doing boundary riding. You'll be in the rooms at half-time, trying to gain access to the inner sanctum there and try and unpack what the two teams are plotting, particularly in the second half of the contest. But before we sort of pick apart this game with any great detail, let's have a listen to the two coaches, because we did catch up with them. You spoke about Mark Nat and the job that he's got of trying to get Old Scotch back on the horse after 3 defeats in a row. I caught up with him a little earlier.
Very excited. Always have a good battle with these guys and a lot of mutual respect as well. So, really excited to get out there and great day for footy. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a pretty storied recent rivalry between you two. Was that brought up at all during the week, or are we just trying to treat it just another game?
Not really. It is just another game. It's certainly not a grand final, but I think the two sides know each other pretty well. Marcel and myself know each other pretty well, so I don't think there'll be too many surprises. It's obviously who can execute on the day.
And then coming off last week, very good first quarter, a little disappointing after that. What's the focus for getting on top today?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds simple, but doing what we did in the first quarter for longer, really. So, we got the game the way we wanted it to look and did the simple things well, and then we went away from that fairly quickly, and Haileybury capitalised. So, we've just got to be a little bit more disciplined, I think, across the 4 quarters.
Well, mate, we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Nat, the coach there of Old Scotch, of course, sitting 1-3 after the opening month of the season. And these two in particular, the recent rivalry is well storied. They've played off in the last 2 grand finals. Old Scotch winning in 2024, Old Brighton winning last year. So there is a fair amount of history between these two sides in recent seasons, and both getting their fair share of the spoils along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've played each other a lot. You know, they even played to get a practice match against each other this year. Of all the sides we want to play, but that was just due to circumstances. But they are two new-look sides. I mean, we'll probably go through them, Matty, but the changes have gone on during the week. And doesn't the VFL throw a nice little
11-hour curveball?
Yeah, oh, gee, poor old Natty. I know he got a couple of phone calls last night. Some out of the blue, I think Nankara and Barter have gone to play VFL, which is changes their side up considerably.
Well, I mean, both of them were terrific last week at different times, and Nankara's had a very good start to his time with Old Scotch, and particularly at full-back, who's played on some reasonably dangerous forwards in that time. Charlie McIsaac in his first game, and then took turns on Jack Bell and others last week of Old Haileybury. And Ollie Barter through the middle of the ground is going to be a really important out for them, but both unavailable. But it means there's a couple of ins who... as far as Old Scotch are concerned, Charlie Schilling, he's playing his first game for the year today. He played 3 times for the seniors last season, number 53. Dane Harvey comes back from Carlton VFL duties. He'll be in the number 51. He's played 6 games for the Blues at VFL level this year, so he'll be a handy in. And a debutant, Howie Japp, number 20, we believe.
Yeah, apparently wearing his father's number, which is a great touch. So it was his 100th game last week, and... it's his 101st and first senior game. How good is that?
That's terrific.
We've got the bagpiper leading the Scotch team out onto the ground.
Yes, there they are, making their way out.
Made the connection there, Matty. Their name's Scotch, and where the bagpipes come from? Scotland.
Scottish.
Geez, nothing gets past me, does it? Thank God Petchy's not here. He'd be all over that, wouldn't he?
on the ball, Hugo, for hit IQ. Yes. And just as I've noticed... as they made their way out onto the ground. I wonder if Will Clark has retained the bandages that he received last week. He copped a couple of cuts during the match, and he's got the tape. He still looks like he's trying to win a Grand Slam. Yes, Will Clark, and he's going to be a key figure today for Old Scotch. Yeah, he was massive for them last week. He was doing everything he possibly could in the ruck against 2 accomplished ruckmen down at Haileybury, and he'll go again today. And he'll roll forward at moments. Look, I still think that Clarkey is a natural forward, but he's an amazing ruckman, so you've got to do everything. But Dane Harvey coming into the side as well, so at some stage we will see Harvey and Clark together in the forward line, and I know Natty does like having the 2 big boys down there. It seems to be a good format for them, so it'll be interesting. No Doug Lawrence today. That was an interesting circumstance. Oh, yeah, so unpack this one with me, Hugo, because he played forward and looked pretty good, but in the aftermath of the game, there was a report that was issued for Doug Lawrence. That was an interesting one, because we saw the incident sort of out of the corner of our eye, because you're always keeping an eye on where Doug is. There's always something going on, but... the umpire didn't see it at the time, apparently, and he had an accident. We'll call it an accident, Matty. They're all accidents. Yes. With football act. With football act, correct, with a player. And the umpire reviewed it after the game, and a report was issued. Now, they went to the tribunal on Thursday night, and what I hear, Matty, is he was basically going to be let off, but he called in a character reference. He called in life member Simon Petch, and he's ended up getting 4. So that's obviously anyone out there going to court, don't use Simon Petch as your character reference, because you'll get life, you'll get the chair. His first mistake was calling for Petchy. His second mistake was not getting a second opinion on that decision. Yes, correct. Look, it's a tough penalty, because it's a set penalty, so it's 4 and I think down to 3 with good behaviour or something like that. But it's a tough one, and just be dubbed subsequent after the game too. I know it would have been hell this week in Scotch with phone calls backwards and forwards, and there is a review process, but interesting. But anyway, you can't do anything about that, and you have to move on. You've got to move on pretty quickly in football. Just for clarity then, because I think for most football fans, we're aware that at AFL level there's some sort of matrix that revolves around impact and severity, and that's how we sort of gain a conclusion. But that doesn't apply here. It's just a strike is just a set number of weeks regardless. So there's different categories. It's Category 1 and Category 2. Category 2 goes straight to the tribunal, I believe, and if found guilty, then you get the set prescribed penalty. So that would be the same. I think it was striking, which what it was for a bit of a brush, an accident in the midriff. So you may as well have just given him a good one in the chops, and we would have got the same penalty. So interesting. So it's going to be a big out for Old Scotch today. No Doug Lawrence. So there's been a few outs as we've sort of gone through and a couple of ins which we'll be keeping a good eye on. Old Brighton, on the other hand, we haven't talked a lot about them. They've made their way out onto the ground already. Things were looking really good, though, up until last week. And even though they were second best, they were still 5 goals up at one point, which goes to show that they don't need to be dominating to build a lead.
No, that's probably the one thing that would be concerning for me, to give away a lead that big. Look, the side that they've had out there last week, they were missing some of the big names. I know that Felix Flockhart is back this week, so that's a huge in for them. He's a very important player in the grand scheme of the things at Brighton there. I mean, the fellow Josh Carr, he's an excellent ruckman, but still being young as well, he just needs that support of Felix Flockhart, who is, he's probably one of the... Well, I would go as far as saying he's the best ruck forward in the competition. Probably not the purest ruck, but he's amazing ruckman and then an equally good forward. So he's a very dangerous player.
So when you say ruck forward, in terms of Flockhart, does that mean you see him as someone who spends 80% of his natural game rucking and then resting forward? Or
no, what I mean by that is when he's in the ruck, he's probably the dominant ruckman. And then when he rolls forward, he's the most important forward for them as well. So it's not going down there to rest as such. It's going down there to be an impact player. And he has got that licence to roll forward from the ruck, which we saw in the final series last year. He did an amazing job while being in the ruck. He rolled forward, take some good marks, kick goals. So he's a very important player for Old Brighton. And do we get the toss, Matty? Do we know what's going on out here?
No, we didn't get that. Well, we don't have Pecci. So,
no, we don't. We haven't done the ground report either.
No, we're missing a fair bit this week.
Yes.
One thing that you won't be missing, though, or you can't miss, is our commentary in real time via SEN's Stadium technology on the SEN app. Can't miss it. Available for iPhone and Android, and it works with Apple CarPlay and Android Audio. So that's something that you can't miss. Wherever you are, you've got that available.
So I believe that Old Brighton won and are kicking to the grandstand end where we are, Matty.
Yep, so we're positioned in the forward pocket.
We are. Next to Petchy calls this the Shetland flank because the house over the back, who had 3 Shetland ponies in it last year. That's it. I thought they were Great Danes. biggest dogs I've ever seen.
Can I get a tip from you, Hugo?
Oh, geez, Matty, this is going to be a tight one here today. I can't rule Scotch out, but I think just Old Brighton with a couple of ins and a couple of outs of Scotch haven't helped either. So I'll go with a single-figure margin of about 7 points. Matty.
On the way of the Tunners. Will Clark in the ruck for Scotch. The umpire holds the ball aloft. The siren sounds. He tosses it up in the game. Here's a foot, and there's a free kick already, and it's going to go the way of the Tunners, and it's going to be that man, Felix Flockhart, back in the side. Gives the handball away, although the kick was smothered. Jackson had a bit of a fumble. He's got to go and retrieve it. Now hands it over to Frenetic, who just throws it on the boot up towards centre-half forward. Bouncing ball towards attacking 50 here for the Cardinals. Ball still in dispute. Jones was in there, couldn't gather it cleanly. McNabb, who's had leather poisoning in the opening month of the season, comes out wide to Travers on the back flank. He's got a runner alongside, but instead looks to go with a kick up the line, looking for hope, knocked away from him, looping hand pass over the top, and now it's Troon who's got it on the right boot, goes inside, attacking 50, no mark taken, umpire says play on, still alive here, McMillan might have been taken high, and that's how the umpire sees it. Free kick at half forward for McMillan, and he wants to go with a kick inboard, but it's been turned over. Flockhart getting back, taking the relieving mark in defence for the Tunners.
This is where Scotch need to get busy. They need to take away the options, which look like they've done, because Flockhart's had to go long down the line.
Does so, looking for Richardson, could only palm it back to ground level, gathered by Jackson, and now the outside of the boot, it's Henry Brown, goes in towards the goal square. It was an ill-directed kick. It's going to be easy pickings here for the Tunners defence. An uncontested mark on the last line, saving the day. This opening quarter, of course, brought to you by McQueen Financial Group. Hope to have Angus McQueen, the president of Old Scotch, with us at half-time. And there's a kick up towards the half-back line, but the intercept mark taken by Charlie McCormack, of course. No one intercepts the footy like Charlie Cormack.
What was impressive about that work by Scotch there is they took away the easy option, Matty. They penned them in, so the only result was that long kick down the line with that breeze today as well, which is going to the Bowls Club end. Ball held up, and Charlie Cormack able to take one of his basically textbook marks. Not
a noted goal kicker, Charlie Cormack. Hasn't kicked one this year. He's going to have a go from 50. He's given it a good shot, but it was always to the right. Wide for a minus score. His first score of the season and the first score of the day. Old Scotch one behind, while Brighton yet to score, and that is on the McQueen Financial Group scoreboard.
Yeah, so we did mention a bit of a breeze out there. It's about a 2 to 3 goal breeze today. It's starting to pick up a little bit down to the Bowls Club there.
Old Brighton looked to bring the ball back in the play. It's been camped in Scotch's half. A big fly over the top from Richardson. Couldn't complete it. It's come off hands. Frenetic is in there. Now Burnell applying the tackle. Looking for a mark of the day contender for Hodges Real Estate early. That's Richardson. Clark. A tap down there. Come out now, Geordie Seager looking to track it to the line. The 2-2s going at it. He and Henry Brown, neither able to get to the football. It's gone out of play for a boundary throw-in.
No,
in fact, no, it's a Lasso free kick. My apologies. Kick inside 50. It's come off hands. It was Spencer who got a hand to it going for the mark, but instead it will be a ball up inside 50 now for the Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals have started very well this week, Matty. They're on. They've got a lot of pressure out there, which is what they needed to bring.
Flockhart got the handball away. That was nice. Kick up the line there from Sazzoni. The big fly once more. Richardson and Clark were both there. Richardson gathers at the ground level. And now Campili further along to Ag. He loops another one down the line, and Old Brighton going to work inside their attacking half for the first time today. Another hand pass over the top. And now running into a bit of trouble there with Burnell. Must have just got the hand pass away in the nick of time. Hamish Dick, he's got to get through a couple. He just fires a hand pass forward. Not a very effective one. Gathered here by Ferguson and then Dixon. They've worked this one out well. Brodie Easton looping hand pass, handing off to a ruckman. Clark goes down the line. That's nice. McMillan straightens up and kicks towards half forward. Not a good kick. Turned over, and Old Brighton will win it back in the defensive half. And a kick up the line, asking a fair bit there, and it's been won back here by Charlie Schilling, who's back in the side. Mentioned him in the pre-game. 3 games for the seniors last year.
Ooh.
Not a good kick, though, on return. It's given Old Brighton possession of the ball back here. Another kick into the man on the mark. It was good pressure there from Simons, and he's wrapped up Burnell. The umpire's going to pay free kick for holding the ball.
Matty would be very happy with that. The pressure is on, and that's evident right there, Matty.
Simons in ball to Frenetic. Scotch have started well.
This is where they fell down a little bit. This entry kick from here, just bombing like we're seeing right now, making it hard for the forwards.
Up towards half forward, and good use of the body there, legal according to the umpire. And it's won back there by Tweedy. Goes across the goal.
Not many options here.
No, and that was Campili, who's going to look to switch it back again.
So we're back to where it came from, Matty.
Howden goes over the top. Tweedy again. So they have started well here, Old Scotch, and not letting Old Brighton get away, although that's a good little kick that might just open things up here. Geordie Seager's now got it on the wing. Just waiting for the game opening goal here. I'm just happy to play possession football here, Old Brighton. Get a bit of territory. And a couple of tall targets to go to. One of those is Charlie Richardson, who's marked it. He's still a good 2 kicks from goal. Looking for Ryan Ag on the lead. Oh, it just slipped through his hands. And Old Scotch have it at the ground level. Troon, he loops one over the top. Here's Dixon. He tries to fire one in. Troon's going to get it back again here. Steps around McNabb. Scrubby little kick up towards the wing. Spencer, he goes down low. And Tweedy catches him, and it will be a stoppage here. Centre wing, front of the interchange gates.
Both sides just sort of sounding each other out at the moment, Matty. They're trying to retain possession and taking too much on.
Flockhart looked to flick it back. Did so effectively. Scrubby little kick up towards half forward. Gathered nicely by Brown, and then Troon dribbles a kick down the line. Oh, a clean bowled Clark. Goes past him. Still in dispute. Lohan was there. Gets it again. Does Max Lohan. Hands it back. Kick inboard is a dangerous one. Loose ball in the middle of the ground. One back here by the Cardinals. Loose hand pass, though, opens things up for the Tunners. Kick inside, attacking 50 was a bit scrubby. No mark taken. Strong tackle applied, and the umpire says, give it to me. Stoppage inside 50 here for the Tunners.
So just a couple of times we've noticed already, Scotch just handballing to the space and no player being there. That's causing a few little turnovers.
Campili, lovely little rove there. Hand pass forward. Pryor at a bit of a fumble. Goes and applies the tackle. Knocks things up, and they've gained about 20 metres with that. And this is the closest they've been to goal all day. The Tunners. Clark had to back through hands. Pryor was there. Can't get past the tackle. It was a good tackle that was applied there by Brady. Locks things up.
Yeah, there's no Pryor there. He was just holding, and he's done the right thing. Forced the stoppage again, deep, very deep in their forward line.
Clark tapped it back. Inventive with the outside of the hand, and then Cormac's kick up the line is out of bounds on the full, so it's coming back here. Kick to be taken by Tom Howden on the half-forward flank. He's probably a bit too far out to score.
And he'll be kicking directly across that breeze as well. So we're looking this to swing sort of right to left from where he's looking.
He'll be right in front of the kick and looks to just try and hit up a lead, but getting him behind, taking the mark there was Brown.
And the umpire went down there too. Carnage out there, Matty.
Goes short with the kick to Frenetic on the back flank. Called to go now by the umpire, Frenetic, so he goes long up the line. Went over the head there of Easton, gathered here by McNabb. Neat little sidestep and a short kick up the line again to Howden. This time he's definitely too far out to score. 20 metres further back this time. Ag is the deepest forward for the Tunners. Instead he looks to try and hit up Richardson, but a good fly there from Ben Ferguson. Wanted it more than anyone else, Ben Ferguson. He takes the relieving mark for the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are actually working very hard at the moment, taking away that easy option which Brighton looked for. So they're going well.
There's the kick up the line, although it was always going to advantage to the Tunners there.
Aerial tennis here at the moment, Matthew. Backwards and forwards.
Spencer was the target. Short now to Flockhart. Thought about giving the hand pass. Decided better of it. Intelligent from the ruckman.
Two words you don't hear together very often.
Flockhart going into the pocket. Off hands. Brown got last touch to it, and it's gone out of play for a boundary throw in Jack Brown. Every time it happens, you just got to acknowledge it. Intelligent.
Yeah, no, you do. You take the little wins. The ruckman will take the win in that one.
Clark, front spot, tapped it down. Cormac couldn't rove it, gone through his hands. Goodger had it, lost it. Then Cormac goes in again. Burnell and Goodger on top of him. This will be interesting how this is adjudicated. The umpire was hovering. It was that little hover of death. And he thought better of it. He said, no, we'll have another stoppage.
Maybe it's because it was Charlie Cormac there. If it was anyone else, he would have pinged him.
Clark tapped it down again to Cormac, who's doing a bit of roving in these stoppages. Handbars is swooped on by Carianis, who kicks towards goal. And it was always offline, a minor. And old Brighton are on the board. One behind a piece on the McQueen Financial Group scoreboard in this opening term. And we've just ticked over 9 minutes gone in it.
Pressure very evident already in this game, Matthew. So Scotch's pressure this week is 100% better than it was last week. It's good to see him start like this.
Cormac with the kick in. He goes a little more centrally than what he might have thought, but Will Clark in front takes a nice mark. Those two have combined well early. And then Clark looks to waste little time, kick up towards half forward, and it's now going to be gathered here by the youngster in Howie Japp, who drives towards goal, and he's got it.
No, Quinn Spencer took the mark there, matey, sorry.
My apologies.
That's all right. You got too excited there.
I did.
Spencer just floated in beautifully into the pocket there, and a really good layup kick to him, and that was good vision. A lot of players would have just had a shot on goal, but I know he's going to do Pecci's favourite here. He's going around the corner.
No, I lost sight of that completely. It's my apologies. Quinn Spencer kicked 2 last week.
And there's been a 50-metre penalty here.
He's had the shot, so now this will be his certainty.
Yep.
Not sure if the kick around the body was going through. Not that it matters, because you'll definitely kick this one, Quinn Spencer.
Yeah, chuck this one in the book, Matthew. He's got that one, so...
Absolutely no way he misses this. And I could say this now, because Pecci's not here to tell me off.
But where he was kicking there, he was deep in that pocket, not a very easy kick. Now, that indiscretion that caused a 50, that's a frustrating one. But anyway, that's football. And these blokes are pretty... They move on very quickly, the players. Coaches, not so much, but the players do. So that was a very good passage of play by Scotch there. That great mark by Clark, which is what he's going to have to do all day here. And then they got the ball moving quickly to advantage. And very selfless play. You'd like to see it when the side has that mentality. They don't care who kicks a goal as long as we have the easiest shot possible. Well,
it was hard work getting the game's first goal, but in the end it was kicked in very easy fashion by Quinn Spencer, who's now got 5 for the season. Only Will Clark's got more for the Cardinals. Draws level with Angus Simons. Back in the middle again, both rucks getting a tap to it, rode beautifully by Brown, who drives a long kick in towards Spencer, who had to turn defender for a second and got a good fist on it. Every chance old Brighton would have marked that ball otherwise, and it's gone into play for a boundary throw-in. 1-1-7 plays 1 behind on the McQueen Financial Group scoreboard in this opening term, 11.5 gone.
That was like a training drill for the Cardinals. Clark down to Brown, straight into the forward line.
So inside attacking 50 here. Carr taking a turn in the ruck. Now there's Brown once more, got a hand pass away, and then managed to dispossess his opponent. Don't know how he did that. Simons over to Frenetic, off a step, high ball. The mark will be paid in towards the forward pocket, knocked away. It's fallen here. Spencer to Jones, who went with a hack off the ground. Or hack, mid-air hack rather.
It was.
Would have been a beauty if he caught it. But he only caught half of it. It skews wide for a minus score. 128 plays one behind here. McQueen Financial Group scoreboard, and the Tunners waste no time bringing it back in. Carr had to fly from behind. Brought it to ground at least, and then a stoppage here on the half-back flank for the Tunners.
Scotch have been very good at defending that exit kick today. They're going to need to keep this up for 4 quarters, though.
Tossed up once more. Brown has been involved a bit the last few minutes. Dribbles his kick towards the boundary line. Now, how will this be adjudicated? Boundary throw in.
Yeah, no, that was inside the arc, so no lasso. And it's always open to interpretation, that kick along the boundary line, isn't it, Matty? Some may view that was a deliberate, but anyway, advantage for the Cardinals.
It's an interesting one because, yeah, it's inside 50, but insufficient intent is still a rule.
It is.
Gathered there by Harvey out to McMillan, who goes around the body. Only gained about 15 metres, but won back easily here by the Tunners. Raking kick out towards the wing, looking for Flockhart, who punched it down to Campeely in the end. The hand pass was turned over, though. McMillan, scrubby kick along the boundary line, deflects off McNabb. Out of play for another boundary throw-in.
Good to see McMillan back in for the Cardinals. He was very unlucky to miss last week. He's been playing some good footy. I think he missed after having 18 and kicking a goal as well, so that's tough to be omitted on that.
Yeah, no, it was a very good performance from him. Getting a recall today. Clark with the front spot. Neither ruck got a tap to it in the end. Easton turning tackler. And in fact, there's a whistle. Might have been a dangerous one. The free kick going to George Hill. Oh, McNabb's got it on the back flank.
Scotch are taking away all the options here. This is good to see. Mark we'd be very happy with this, the Cardinals coach.
It's got to go long line, and Charlie Cormack coming in from the side. Beauty of a mark. Mark of the day contender for Hodges Real Estate. Charlie Cormack in full flight. And the Cardinals skipper goes in towards attacking 50, looking for Harvey. And Barring is caught in a good tackle, and that's going to be a free kick to the Tunners, holding the ball. Kick to be taken here by Angus Cork. That's a good mark from Charlie Cormack, who started well. Oh, a neat little turn there by Gus Cork. Goes up the line. Ferguson looking to come in from behind, but Flockhart was always in best position in front there. Takes the mark. And again, slow ball movement here from the Tunners. He goes with a hand pass this time, does Flockhart. Now hand pass, the two rucks combining. And then Carr to Flockhart, who goes inside 50. Richardson getting over the back. Oh, I had two guys that it couldn't complete the marquee hand passes, which is interesting for a Bartlett relative. And it's gone out of play for a boundary throw in. I think that's the first time I've ever seen him hand pass the ball.
Doubled the family's total.
A boundary throw in here inside attacking 50 for the Tunners. They trail by 7 points on the McQueen Financial Services scoreboard. Clark tapped it down. Burnell trying to rove it that time. Ball comes loose. Seeger is there for the Tunners, but the boundary line beats all comers and gained about 10 metres here. Have old Brighton with another boundary throw in.
See a bit of this today, Matty. With this smaller ground, there's a lot of congestion around the ball, so we're going to see a lot of stoppages.
Oh, another go at it from the boundary throw-in. Clark rubbed his own ruck work there and shrugged a tackle to boot. Hands it over, looking for Frenetic, gathered by Lohan, who goes back with a hand pass. Good smother there from Jones. Looks to take on a tackler, hands it over to Frenetic once more. Kick up towards half forward. Spencer's leading his man to the ball. Bounces a couple of times. The cavalry arrive eventually. Goodger gives the hand pass away. Lohan back to Goodger, back to Lohan. Off a step goes with a kick down towards the boundary line, and it's going to actually go out of bounds on the full. Good pressure once more from the Cardinals. The kick to be taken by Townsend this time. Not a great kick though. McNabb couldn't trap it, and Simons shrugged the tackle. Oh, but he couldn't get rid of the second one. That was great defensive work there from Travers. Good desperation in the tackle, and gets the free kick for holding the ball. Goes with the kick up the line, looking for Flockhart. Easy for him in the end. Kick in board to Seeger. Hamish Dick is the deepest forward. Richardson and Hope both down there too for the Tunners. And Seeger's going to go in that direction. Richardson! Oh, he almost had it. He roved it nicely. He snaps towards goal, but it's shallow. Back to his old kicking ways. Charlie Richardson are behind. It's doubled the Tunners' tally. Two behind. They still trail. Old Scotch 1-2-8. The Cardinals waste no time here. Brown. It's the kick into Brodie Easton on the back flank. Now he's going to go with a kick up the line to Frenetic, who marks on his chest. And he's going to go with a kick inboard to Will Clark. Still at football at the moment here from the Cardinals. And Clark roosts it deep inside, attacking 50. Comes off hands as a free kick, a whistle. Is advantage going to be paid?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And the goal's been kicked by Nick Baring, who roved it. It was a free kick going the way of the Cardinals for a hold. Nick Baring saw an opportunity and snapped to his first goal of the year. That takes his tally to 1-6 for the campaign.
I was going to say, he was one of the culprits last week, Matthew.
He was. So he would have been very nervous taking advantage inside 50
yeah,
there.
Wouldn't want to miss me.
No.
But, no, that was good work by Dane Harvey there. So that was, again, you can see the Cardinals willing to take those inside 45s, those risky kicks, but not to a contested player. So they're finding that loose one in the ground, and then Clark moving the ball quickly forward. And Dane Harvey was contesting really well, and of course forced a free kick, and then Baring swooped on that, and he didn't miss, Matty.
He did not. Carr over to Hill. They're out of the middle here. The Tunners inside 50. Richardson off hands, gathered here by Dixon, who runs away from his man. Kick up the line, bouncing ball up towards the wing. Good attack there from Baring, who's got a taste of it all of a sudden. Low hand to Campeely. Kick towards centre half back. Mark taken by Pryor. 2-2 plays, 2 behinds here on the McQueen Financial Services scoreboard. The Cardinals have started hot. Kick up the line. Brady in best position. Mark, despite the attention of Burnell. Old Scotch have started well here. Short kick to Frenetic, who's been busy early. And Frenetic. Called to go now by the umpire. Off a step. It's a kick that's gone off hands. Pryor, Campeely combined nicely. Scrubby kick looking for Campeely again, who's got Harry Hill. He goes to Seeger, eventually gives it to Hill. Kick inside 50, going back with a flight. Mark dropped there by Flockhart. Ball hits the deck. Tackle applied. It's going to come out now. Ferguson gave it over. Long kick up the line from Cooper Lean out towards the wing. Well judged mark, though, by Tweedy. And looks to switch it. They've got a bit of space out this side now. Carianis up towards half forward, over the head of Travers. He can go back and collect it now inside 50. Can he shrug the tackle? No, he can't. The umpire wave play on. Outside of the boot kick is as straight as banana you've ever seen. Troon's going to get there first for the Cardinals. He's got a bit of support. Looks to go with a hand pass to Clark. Looks further afield, and that's a fumble there by Brady. Although it's all right, though, because Simons has got it. Kicked without looking, though, and they've turned it over straight down the throat of Carr, who comes in board with the kick. Frenetic got a hand to it. Couldn't complete the intercept, though. Good tackle applied there by Baring. Umpire wave play on. Lean. Tension from Carianis. Now he's fallen on top of the ball here, Lean. And the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll get a stoppage right in the centre of Camberwell Sportsground.
Well, Scotch pressure, if we give it a pressure rating, it's through the roof, Matty. It's outstanding to see. So they need to sustain this for 4 quarters now.
Headed by Easton. Hands it over only as far as Pryor. Hill. Low hand out to McNabb. On the left boot, goes inside 50. This suits Cormac. Easy pickings for the skipper. He was always marking that one, and he wastes no time. Fans the kick out wide to Jap. To Dixon. They're on today, the Cardinals. Certainly feels that way, Hugo.
Yeah, they are. So the pressure they're applying up the ground is having an effect on the entries of the Brighton team. So you're just seeing those long kicks down the line, and that's playing into Charlie Cormac's hands.
Here he is again, getting it from Dixon. Another beautiful kick out wide to Troon. Goes with a kick up the line, flirts with the boundary line, and it was spoiled by Tweedy just inside the field of play. So boundary throw in right next to the interchange gates here.
Good contest down there today of Tweedy and Spencer. So that'll be one to watch. You can see neither player willing to give up front spot. So they have a really good wrestle.
Spencer with the goal, but Tweedy with a couple of good defensive interventions already. Carr got the hand pass away. Looking for anybody really, and a couple of players fall on top of each other, and we'll get a stoppage here.
Keep an eye on Carr today. He's on world record pace for taking the ball out of the ruck. You watch that, Matty.
Tried to tap it that time, Carr. Went through hands as he looked to try and gather it on the follow-up. Campeely on hands and knees. Brown might have been legs as he tried to dispose of the ball. The umpire picked up on it. And they're taking take advantage again here, Scotch. They're not wanting to just sit around. Kick towards goal, no good though. Angus Cork in best position takes the intercept mark. He wanted to switch it, but instead just goes a little further up the line to Campeely, who's got it between the back pocket and the back flank. And he just goes up the line. Cormac was looking for this one, and he didn't complete the mark. Had a lot of it. The umpire waved play on. Scotch retained possession in any case, although they're having to go backwards a bit. All of a sudden, they've got it at centre-half back. Dixon. Oh, he goes with a dangerous kick towards centre-half back, and it's been turned over. Ag now. Got to make this count. Gives the hand pass away. Kick inside 50, looking for Hope, but he finds him in space. And Jamie Hope can line up for goal here.
Just a little bit slow in pulling the trigger on that kick and was able to affect the spoil. So it's one thing Brighton will do. They will score off turnover. So they're very good at that slingshot straight away from the turnover. So this is that's textbook Brighton kicking, this one.
Only played once this year, Jamie Hope. 11 touches and a goal. Second game of the season, played last week, and it didn't look good off the boot, and he brought it back, but just didn't give it enough of a chance. And Old Brighton still looking for their first goal. 3 behinds, they trail Old Scotch 2-2-14 on the McQueen Financial Services scoreboard, and I think we're bringing the kicking back here. Umpire said Charlie took that too quickly. So Cormac will have another go.
It's a real let-off for the Cardinals there. That should have been a certain goal. We talk about responsibility in front of goal. There's 101. You need to kick that.
Good spoil by Carr from behind, not to give away the free kick either. Kick from Corr, goes up towards McNabb. Nearly the 15, but Luca McNabb marks it. The truck with the football so far this year, Luca McNabb. Can he find a target here? The kick is looking for Ag. Brown got him from behind and took the mark, or got the free kick for the arm chop regardless. Good bravery shown from Henry Brown. Goes to Clark on the back flank.
Clark's had a very good quarter. He's an excellent exit option for the Cardinals at the moment.
Looks like it's going to be him doing all the work against Flockhart and Carr today. That's very close to the line. In fact, the umpire says out of bounds on the full. Line ball, Starve. Spencer, no arguments from him. Pryor wastes no time. He goes in towards the forward pocket, and that's definitely out on the full.
Yeah, there are football guys, because that's justice there, because I was directly had a great line of sight of that first one, and that was not out on the full.
Well, I was talking about Clark, because I felt pretty confident I didn't need to call him out on the full there, regardless. Townsend now on the last line of defence for the Cardinals, goes short to Easton. 24 and a half gone in this opening term. Just the 2 goals in it, both the way of the Cardinals. Hand pass to Spencer, who's playing a bit behind the ball now. Long towards Flockhart, who dropped the mark. Numbers are there for the Tunners, though. Seeger's hand pass is wide, and that's going to be a Dairy Queen free kick. Hello to Petchy if you're tuning in. He won't be. He's doing another game. But anyway, McMillan goes quick. Inside 50. Good mark from Cork going back with the flight. In fact, it was Lohan, rather. Oh, that's a scrubby old kick. Ag gathers it on the bounce, stolen by Brown, and then gives it away to the other Brown, Jack, Henry to Jack, and then Jackson had a bit of a fumble. Jack Brown again on the right boot, up towards full forward. Big fly over the top. It's come off hands. It was Tweedy who flew forward, hits the ground level, and then Pryor's caught in a tackle, and it's a stoppage inside 50 for the Cardinals.
Cardinals have been very good today with cutting off the exit kick for Brighton. So they're making it very hard for Brighton out there.
Flockhart grabs it out of the ruck and just dumps it out of there. Townsend. Oh, Richardson did well to bring that to ground. And Ag gives it away to Hill, who goes up the line. Howden's now marked it between wing and half-back. Wants to go with a kick up the line towards Karianis. And it's just not really anyone forward for the Tunners at the moment, which allows Scotch to flood numbers back. And there is the siren for quarter time. 26 minutes on the dot that quarter goes for, and shouldn't be really surprising given that there were only 2 goals kicked for the quarter. 2-2-14. Old Scotch, Old Brighton, just the 3 behind the goal scorers for the Cardinals, Quinn Spencer and Nick Barring. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. Just your brief thoughts before we take a break for quarter time.
Yeah, well, Matty, I think the Scotch pressure was outstanding that quarter. Took away the time and space for Brighton. Which would be very, very pleasing for Mark Knapp. So I just think Brighton probably need to work a little bit harder forward to the ball to create that extra option, and then the game might open up a little bit for them. But I'm heading down now, Matty. I'm on the move.
No, we'll let you go, Hugo. Special comments thanks to Hit IQ, game-changing protected concussion management system. That quarter brought to you by McQueen Financial Group, and Scotch's premier partner since 2016, celebrating 32 years of providing specialist advice in wealth, lending, accounting and insurance, using the 3 C's proven approach of clarity, certainty and control. Quarter time here at Camberwell Sportsground. It is Old Scotch who lead by 11 points over Old Brighton, 2-2-14 to 3 behinds. Stick around, the second quarter coming up right after this.
VAFA action is back and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
Quarter time here at Camberwell Sportsground. This is VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round 4 footy on SEN's Match of the Day. The grand final rematch, and it is Old Scotch who hold an 11-point lead as things stand. 2-2-14. They lead Old Brighton 3 behinds goal scorers for the Cardinals, Quinn Spencer and Nick Baring with his first goal of the season. Old Brighton still looking for their first major of the afternoon. We'll head down to ground level very shortly there with Hugo Higginbotham and the Cardinals crew. In fact, we'll do so now. We'll catch their huddle.
We'll get the contest stuff right first. That's the first thing. They beat us up there. They were getting the ball out a little bit too easy, even though we were holding an outside shape. All right? We change and we want to play that top side as much as we possibly can, because we'll get those forward entries in better spaces when we're utilising the breeze. All right? If they throw a 7th behind the ball, which they're likely to do, we free up you, Lem. You or you, Mace. All right? You come up around the ball. So you're going to be basically a sweeper. So, guys, if we're inside, we know that we can just work and fight inside and get it to the outside. We'll have that +1 number. That's our out number. We still have to work. Yeah? Yep. Don't get spooked by the numbers and keep rolling forward. If they're going to drop numbers back, we hold our shape so that when the ball comes out, if they happen to win it and they get it out, we're in the best position to play front half football. All right? We hold our shape really effectively. Get to work inside, boys. Let's go.
So Old Brighton coach Marcel Bruin addressing his charges there. They trail by 11 points at quarter time. And we will head back down now to Hugo, who has got Marcel Bruin with us.
So, Soupy, that first quarter, it wouldn't be a Brighton Scotch game if it wasn't over the top pressure. How do you think the boys handled it?
Oh, not overly well, to be perfectly honest with you. Our ball movement wasn't great. We had a big focus on that. But hopefully they adjust, obviously, and adapt a little bit better this quarter. The inside stuff, as I spoke about there, our contest work was just off, that little bit off, and they were able to get the ball to the outside and transition a little bit better than us.
Yep. Conditions playing a part out there, you think? Bit of a breeze?
There's a little bit of a breeze, absolutely. I think it gives you an advantage coming back down this way. But, yeah, if you move the ball well enough, you'll be able to pick some holes through the defence.
Felix Flockhart taking a few good marks there. You want to see him a little bit more involved this quarter?
We're just going to roll him forward and see how that looks, and then probably bring him into the ruck. Hopefully he's taking a couple of catches and kicked a couple of goals.
Best of luck for the rest of the game.
Thank you for that, Hugo and Marcel Bruin there. As we go quickly around the grounds, thanks to Bendigo Bank, Canterbury, Ashburton, Surrey Hills and Borwin. And the rest of the Premier Men's quarter time. University Blues leading odds of variance 4-4-28 to 2-2-14. Caulfield Grammarians with an early advantage over St Kevin's 2-5-17 to 1-5-11. St Bernard's leading University Blacks 4-2-26 to 1-1-7. And in the other match, Old Trinity and Old Haileybury lead by a goal at quarter time 3-3-21 to 2-3-15. Hugo, have you got us down there as you're making your way back up to the commentary box?
I've got you, Matty.
What did you make of what Marcel said there? In fact, we'll get to that in just a moment, rather, as the second quarter is about to start. I'll let you make your way back up to the box. And Clark taps it down. On hands and knees there was Easton. The hand pass comes out to McNabb. Now, high kick up the line there from Mason Zazzoni up towards half forward. Through a pair of hands there to come out now to Ryan Agg, who gathers it, runs, goes with the right boot, snap towards goal, and he's put it well across the face of goal. It's gone out of bounds on the full. It's a missed opportunity there for the Tunners to get things started very quickly in this second term. And instead, they're still looking for their first goal of the game. On third go, Hugo?
Yes, that's right. But I like the sound of Felix Flockhart rolling forward for the Tunners. He'll give them an extra couple of options forward of the ball.
So the Cardinals with the footy here, a half-back kick towards Brown, who marks despite the attention of Pryor. Now he's held up here. Where to go next? Short. Right, just wanted to lock this ball inside their attacking 50. Not let it out quickly. I kick up the line. It's not gone very far. It's come off hands. Hand pass backwards. Gathered there by Schilling away to Dixon, who swivels one way then the other over the head of Cork, who's got to go back and get it now. He's worried out of it though. And now Barring swoops, gives the hand pass away. Frenetic receives now. Snaps it on the right boot in towards the forward pocket, but Campbell Tweedy playing in front takes the mark.
Yeah, Frenetic need to have a look there. You can't just bang it on the boot rolling forward because Schilling had pressed back a little bit and found some space.
Montanaro with a short kick to Campeely, who goes up to line towards Pryor. Back to Campeely, who breaks out into a bit of a gallop. Onto the left boot, goes inside 50, and Felix Flockhart just used the body well there. Got rid of his man, and in the end, that was all he needed to do to take a comfortable chest mark, and he's got a good look at goal here from close range.
So Brighton just used the spare player up the ground there perfectly, which they're famous for, taking that easy option, all off the back of that turnover from Frenetic, who had time and space at half forward, but bombed that ball down. And now, as a result, we've got the fast transition forward, and that man we spoke about, who is so dangerous, Felix Flockhart, with a shot on goal.
He's looked the most likely in the opening term for the Tunners. Can he get their first goal of the day? He comes in, he flirts with the right-hand goalpost. But I reckon he has just snuck that in, Flockhart. And the goal umpire agrees. So Old Brighton are on the board in a major way. It took them 2.5 minutes into the second quarter for them to get their first goal, but they are on the board now. 1-2-8, or 1-3-9 rather. They trail Old Scotch 2-2-14. And that is on the scoreboard in this second term for TLC Healthcare. If you think differently about aged care, they do. They're Old Brighton's principal partner.
Well, great move by Marcel Bruin there. As we get a new footy out onto the ground, Matthew, because that's gone over the fence into the... Oh, no, little kids jumped the fence, grabbed the footy out of the... he might have himself a souvenir, that young fellow, because we've started with a new one.
No, good stuff. Back in the middle here, Old Scotch going to look to win the clearance, kick up towards half forward. There was a bit of holding there, Lohan and Barring, and it's going the way of the number 49 for the Tunners.
Well, they were both holding there, so that was a 50-50.
He's probably a bit too far out to score. He goes in towards full forward. Spencer and Tweedy again. Kick towards goal was smothered. Here's Jones, although beaten to it by Harry Hill, who was quite an opening term. Goes up the line. Agg, and now Pryor hands it over to Burnell, and he's away. He loops one further afield to Hamish Stick. They've got the overlap going here nicely, the Tunners. And there's Felix Flockhart again, who's just starting to assert his authority in the match. And he's going to have another opportunity for goal here in a very similar position to the one where he converted from moments ago.
Well, it's always good for a coach when you make a move and it has immediate effect. Well, this has been a very good move from Marcel Bruin, and that's just the versatility of this man. As I said to you, Matty, if he's in the ruck, he's a dominant player. If it's a forward, he's a dominant player. So he's a legitimate ruck forward.
You had to nail him down in one spot.
I prefer him in the ruck because I think he's more dynamic. He can roll forward when he is in the ruck.
Well, he's looking for his second here. This one looks good. This one looks better. No movement from the goal umpire that time. Flockhart's got 2 in a hurry. And all of a sudden, Old Brighton are in front. 2-3-15 to 2-2-14. The TLC Healthcare Group scoreboard in the second term. And they've snatched the lead very, very quickly here, Old Brighton, despite being second best for pretty much the entirety of the opening term.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're starting to find the loose player there. And it was interesting that was off the back of Harry Hill being involved. Very important player for the Tunners. And moving the ball a little bit faster. You notice that first quarter they'd hold up from the mark and try and wait for something to open up now. Now they're being proactive and they're working harder. So Marcel Bruin's quarter-time words, which I had front row seats to where they're standing, they're having effect.
All of a sudden, Old Brighton in front. And they're going to win the clearance again here. High kick inside attacking 50 from Goodger. Where's Flockhart? Oh, would have been a good slips catch. Just couldn't get to it, and the ball has bounced out of play for a boundary throw in. That sort of quarter-time address there, Hugo, did they make you miss coaching more or less?
The match day stuff's the greatest. It's all the behind-the-scenes bits and pieces and those addresses that you give when you come away from an address and then the changes you implemented are starting to have effect, that's when you enjoy coaching.
Flockhart grabbed that out of the ruck, hands it over to Karayanis, who snaps towards goal, but it was skinny, wide and out of bounds on the full. But Felix Flockhart is all of a sudden the dominant figure on the ground.
He certainly is. He's looking very dangerous at the moment now. But it's also the way the ball's coming into him. It's coming in not as a pressured kick, so the kicker can take a little bit more time and put it to his advantage.
Well, scrubby kick has been turned over, and Ben Pryor has marked it on the half-forward flank. Might have been some disputes as to whether the kick travelled 15. The umpire said it had. Now Ben Pryor's got to look at goal suddenly.
I think if we had the third umpire, that one will be going upstairs to see if the ball touched the ground as he took that mark. I think he trapped it with millimetres off the grass.
A turnover in defence, and all of a sudden, Old Brighton can kick clear with a 7-point lead. Ben Pryor's kicked 7 goals, 2 for the season coming into today, so he's normally good in this situation. Sets the kick on its way from 50, and it's just missed. Can't have missed by much, but it's offline, the kick from Ben Pryor. 7-3 for the campaign for him now. 2-4-16, Old Brighton. 2-2-14, Old Scots. The TLC Healthcare scoreboard in this second term. 6.5 gone.
So the pressure's now back on the Scotchies. And this is perceived pressure, a bit of scoreboard pressure. They had it on their terms in the first quarter, but Brighton have started this one very, very well.
Short kick to Cooper Lean in the back pocket. 17 touches and a goal for Lean last week. Sends this kick high up the wing. A couple of players coming in from the side. McNabb got the eventual spoil. And it's roved here by Montanaro, who goes up towards half forward. Ryan Agg has started to get involved. He's taken a mark. He wanted to go off his line. Now he's going to spear a kick inside 50 to Felix Flockhart. And he's going to have a look at goal number 3 in the quarter.
So Ferguson's got the job down there on Felix Flockhart, and Flockhart is a very mobile player. And every time he's getting that 1 or 2 metre break on Ferguson, and see that advantage of that kick there. Perfect out in front, no pressure on the kicker. That's what Brighton love.
It doesn't matter who you've got playing on you, they're not going to be able to stop that kind of ball movement. So Felix Flockhart directly in front for goal number 3 in the quarter. Oh, he didn't catch it very nicely. Floated through, but it floated through the big sticks. He'll take them any way he can get them, Felix Flockhart. He's on fire at the moment. That's 3 goals. We're not even 8 minutes gone here in this second term. And all of a sudden, it is Brighton who cannot stop kicking goals. TLC Healthcare scoreboard reads 3-4-22 to 2-2-14. And the Tunners are making their move, Hugo Higginbotham.
They are, Matty, they are. And this is a bit of a rinse and repeat for Scotch as per last week. An outstanding first quarter and then sort of dropped off after that. So sides adjust. They need to lift their pressure. They need to get hands back on the ball and compose when they've got the ball at the moment.
So what have the Tunners got in reply? Clark grabbed it out of the ruck, might have been taken high. Lucky he's got the bandage on there because that could have been another blood rule for him. Off twice last week. Fans the kick out wide. Tweedy in front of Spencer. It's been a good duel so far. Tweedy back to Seager. Sideways to Campili, who goes back to Montanaro with a high kick down the line. Clark had to turn defender. Knocked away out towards the boundary line. Hamish Stick arriving. Crashes into the picket fence. And he walks away unscathed in a boundary throw in neutral territory on the far side of the ground.
I think the fine Scotch really need to win this clearance here, matey. They need to get some time in forward half. They've been defending a lot this quarter. They need to get some reward for their effort.
Clark, front spot, grabs it out of the ruck. Does a car. Gives it away to Easton, to Frenetic, looking for McMillan. Lohan with the, was Cork rather with the reach. Got the spoil away. Kick inside 50 here. It's going to suit the ton as Montanaro takes an intercept mark in the end. And switches the play to Campeely. Goes with a hand pass to Harry Hill. He does well to get away from Schilling. With a left foot kick up the line. Looked a little awkward. Clark in best position here for the Cardinals. Marks between wing and half back. And we'll look to send the ball back forward for Old Scotch.
Scotch having a bit of an issue with those entries into the forward line. They're high, shallow. They need to find another possession, especially going into this breeze, moving forward, just to get a deeper entry in a dangerous spot.
Carr flew over the top, couldn't complete the mark. Simons applies the tackle on Hill. Not sure how he got a hand pass away there, but it's moving the way of the Tunners now. Floaty kick towards half forward. It's come off hands. And then an interesting hand pass back there from Harvey. It's come loose. Here's Hope. Runs to 50. Sets out for home. And has missed again, Jamie Hope. 2 behinds for him. Thomas peppering away at the goals, but unless it's Felix Flockhart, they're not going through at the moment. 3-5-23. 2-2-14. Well, Brighton leading by 9 points on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard.
Dane Harvey very high up the ground now. He's sort of moved to the half-back position, possibly in the ruck, but he needs to get his hand on the ball, the big fella.
Womack, there is Harvey, had to beat 3, got hands to it, and in fact there might be a free kick for front on contact going the way of Harvey. 6 games he's played in the VFL so far this season for Carlton, which is where Ollie Barter is this afternoon.
Very late call-up.
Very late. Kick up the line, that's no good, that's going to be turned over. That's easy pickings for the other hill, George. This is his 4th game for the season. George Hill making a good fist of things early. Up the line to Richardson. This will be a kick. On cue. Possessing it well here, the Tunners. Turned an 11-point deficit into a 9-point lead in very quick time in this second quarter. And that's a kick inside 50. And that time there's a free kick going against Flockhart for a push on Ferguson. Ben Ferguson will take the free kick in the back flank.
So we need to find an exit here, Matty. I was just looking at the ground there, and Brighton are doing exactly what Scotch did. They're taking away the easy options, forcing these long ones down the line.
Ferguson goes across the face of goal. That's a really dangerous kick, even for Cormac. It's asking a lot of him. And it's knocked away and out of play for a boundary throw-in. Inside attacking 50 here for the Tunners. Special guest in the house for Old Scotch today. 5-time day, 5-time night premiership. Obliged to mention that.
I think he was the guest speaker at the lunch.
He was.
Apparently yesterday he didn't even know he was doing it.
No, that was last Saturday. He didn't know he was doing it.
There you go. He'd be a day-by-day man. The great man, Dermot Brereton.
Dermot Brereton, of course. Champion centre half forward in the 80s. Barring, frenetic. He'll kick up the line, looking for Spencer. Good sport by Cork, who's done that a couple of times in this opening half to good effect. Knocks it out of play.
He's starting to get on top of Schilling. And they're struggling for options up forward now that Dane Harvey's up the ground a little bit. They need to get Clark for a bit of forward time. But obviously they need him in the ruck as well. So they need 2 Clarks out there, Matty.
They wouldn't mind a couple of him. Ag taking a turn to the ruck now against Clark, who bare tackle him. Cariana supplying the tackle. That is a proper mismatch if ever I've seen one. Clark on Ag. But they forced another stoppage here. Clark front spot, tapped it down. Ag fighting there at ground level. Did nicely, contended with Frenetic. Another stoppage.
You see that Scotch have thrown an extra one down there to sit in front of Felix Flockhart. So they've obviously at his Dane Harvey, so that's why he's up the ground. So they've obviously addressed the fact that Flockhart's got the hot hand at the moment, so they've just placed one in front of him.
Henry Brown trying to take on the world, but couldn't do so, and it's resulted in another stoppage. And win the clearance here. Cooper Lean going with a high kick up towards half forward. Oh, centre of the ground rather, felt like half forward. Tweedy did well though, strong chest mark, wanted it more than anyone else. Campbell Tweedy. And that's a dangerous kick. Oh, McNabb might have been taken high. Tried to juggle the mark, but was caught by Frenetic in the second attempt. So he'll get the free kick, Luca McNabb.
And he made sure the umpire knew that it happened as well. It was quite theatrical.
One of 6 Tunners to be called up to the Big V squad, Luca McNabb. On the left boot, he goes inside 50. It's not a good kick, though. Going to be won back here by Brown, Henry Brown. There's another one. There's a lot of Big V representatives out there today. Kicks to Clark in the back pocket. There's the kick up the line. Lohan was trying to intercept. Richardson with another hand pass. That's 3 for the Bartlett family. Goodger comes in with a kick towards centre half forward. McNabb almost did enough to take the mark. The umpire said play on though, and now there's a chance here for Barring. He will look to give it away. Brown caught in a tackle by Burnell. Fierce stuff at Camberwell Sportsground. He did well there, Old Scotch, to work it to centre half forward, and he's down here is Jones, slow to his feet.
Yeah, that was a heavy tackle, is what we'll say. He ended up clutching his head a little bit, but basically was tackled as he got possession of the ball. It was the hottest handball I've ever seen, Matty.
He looks to be back up there. Jones, frenetic, grabs it out of the ruck, off a step towards Spencer, couldn't complete it, it's come off hands now, in dispute. Simons shrugs a tackle, gets the hand pass away. Montanaro intercepted, gave it off to Howden, who just forced to go down the line. This should advantage the Cardinals. Easton goes back and takes the mark. 2 kicks from home, looks to centre it towards centre half forward and finds Will Clark. And this is not beyond him from here. He'll be kicking from outside 50, but it could not be in better hands for the Cardinals. The leading goal scorer has it. He looks to wheel and go. He's going to drive it for 50. He's got the distance easily. And he's got the goal. Will Clark from long range with an effortless shot. And that's just the circuit breaker that the Cardinals needed. 3-2-20. They still trail 3-5-23 on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard. But that is a goal of the day contender for the Auburn Hotel, Hugo.
Absolutely, matey. It's one of the best ones I've seen all day. But this is what Clark's going to have to do, because with Dane Harvey going behind the ball as an extra, they're losing a forward marking option. So if Clark's going to have to roll forward as the ball comes in and be that option. And he's actually coming for a rest into the forward line now, and Spencer having a go in the ruck. So we've got Spencer and Ag going against it in the ruck. Might as well have 2 Rovers doing it, matey.
Yes.
Collingwood 6-footers in the old day, those boys. But anyway, we've got to swing the magnets around sometimes.
So rare chance for a hit out for these two, and it's Spencer who wins it, and it means that Scotch win the clearance up towards half forward. McMillan's going to apply the tackle on Lohan, and he does, but illegally caught him over the shoulder. So a free kick to the Tunners. It's been a cagey opening half, not many goals, but it's been a good contest between these two sides, both having their periods of dominance. McNabb goes up back towards Lohan. And now George Hill on the back flank. Dangerous kick, but it's just cleared the defender through to Cam Pearley.
Can you imagine kick to kick in the backyard of the Hill place? It would never hit the ground, would it?
You'd have to be good to get a kick, wouldn't you? And then Travers has caught a tackle by Barring. Umpire Wade play on. Scotch with the ball. Here, kicking ball to Schilling. Not 15. Oh, he's got to get rid of it. He did just in the nick of time. Dixon. A little fake there, and then a kick up the line is... Yeah. Actually stayed in the field of play. I thought Cork thought that was going out on the full. It must have just curled back in, and then Jackson drops the mark that he really should have taken. It's gone out of it. It's all happening here at Camberwell Sportsground. I don't think anyone knows what's going on.
That was a kick to Will Clark, and Will Clark vacated the area getting back to the goal square, and it was all the Tunners there. None of the Tunners realised what was going on. It was a bizarre piece of play. But the wind having a little effect out there. It's holding the ball up a little bit, so starting to play a little bit of a role.
A little tap back into the centre of the ground there by Spencer, but it's going to be the Tunners who win it. McNabb to Carianis towards half forward. Hamish Dick running back towards goal. He's got Brady to contend with. It's on the half forward flank now, and it goes out of play. Good contest by those two. And it's a 0-0 draw when all is said and done. Boundary throw in at half forward for the Tunners.
So you'd expect the Scotch to defend heavily now in that area because they've got the extra number down there, and they are defending really well. They've sort of slowed up the scoring of the Tunners, but they need to try and get a bit more forward half-footy. Spencer
beating Flockhart at that time. Seeger with a quick kick forward, doesn't go very far. Frenetic, again off a step, kicks towards the wing. Tweedy, I think he's man to the ball. Out pass to Howland. Goes inside attacking 50, and there's Charlie Cormack again. If it's not Flockhart, it'll be Cormack this afternoon. Wasting no time, they want to move this quickly. Brady looking for Jackson, come off hands. Campeely was there, who's lifted in the second term too. Eventually it's gone out of play for a boundary throw in. 3-5-23 plays 3-2-20 on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard. Nearly 19 gone in this second term. Also been at a premium, but it's been a good even contest between last year's grand finalists. Carr grabs it out of the ruck, throws on the boot up towards full forward. Flockhart in good position. Oh, great grab. Terrific mark going back with a flight. Felix Flockhart He required all of his 220 centimetres to get on the end of that, but at full extension, he reels it in. And if he can convert from here, it'll be his 4th of the quarter.
220 centimetres.
That's what we're going with. I don't know exactly what it is, so I'll just go on with that.
But I told you, mate, Josh Carr took the ball out of the ruck. So they need to watch that, the Scotchies.
The two rucks combined. Flockhart going around the corner. He's got 4. Felix Flockhart has been the dominant player in this first half. He's kicked 4 goals in this second term. Mark of the day contender for Hodges Real Estate. He is the difference at the moment as far as Old Brighton are concerned. 4-5-29. They kick clear once more. 3-2-20. Old Scotch should be ticking to time on in this second term for TLC Healthcare.
Yes, boy, Josh Carr, he's an amazing talent. Still eligible for under-19 football, but already got the confidence enough to take the ball out of the ruck, moving with advantage towards goal, and a beautiful kick as well.
Yeah.
He knew that Flockhart didn't have front position, so put it out the back, and an excellent diving mark from Felix Flockhart. So, once again, the move of Marcel Bruin is paying off.
Carr tapped it back to Hill, gathered by Howden, who bursts away, goes long, looking for Flockhart again, and why not? Although a good mark that time from Dane Harvey. He was outnumbered on that occasion, Flockhart. And Harvey just drifted in to take the mark. Short to Ferguson.
You'd expect the spare to do that on those chaos kicks coming in. Easy to read, high, and he's a very good mark, Dane Harvey.
No Caleb Nancaro today. Old Scotch who's another good aerialist who started well down back. That kick is marked by Burnell on the second attempt, just inside the field of play. Called to go now by the umpire. Still not sure what to do, Burnell. So he just goes long inside 50. Oh! Huge over the top from Harvey!
That's a contender for mark of the day, Matty.
No doubt, Hugo. Hodges Real Estate. That's a screamer from Dane Harvey. Anything Flockhart can do, I can do better, Dane says. Kick up towards Jackson, look to reel it in with the one hand. And then Barring was there, he's caught and tackle, and the umpire says, give it to me. Well, we've had a couple of beauties in this second term. It's a great grab from Dane Harvey. Flew over a big pack. Took it over the head as well, had all the hallmarks of a great grab. Long kick inside 50, Flockhart in good position again. Now, what's going on here? That's surely not a mark that's been paid there. Oh, it is. I reckon Flockhart's taken that again. How did he hold on to that?
That's amazing.
That is an extraordinary mark.
That was just absolute brute strength to fly up with all those players flying, because Charlie Cormack was coming in from the side. I thought Charlie Cormack took it. But Felix was able to hold his position there, and that's an excellent mark.
I can't believe no one else got hands to that. Felix Flockhart again.
Neither can they.
It was about 7 blokes that had to go through before it got to Flockhart. And this, unbelievably, goal number 5 for the quarter on offer here for Felix Flockhart. No mistake. Running out of room here. 5 goals for Felix, and it's not even half time.
I'm still baffled with that mark.
Yeah.
It just looked like the pack flew up, puck came down. I thought Charlie Cormack took that in coming from the side, which we've seen plenty today. But Felix Flockhart, he definitely has a hot hand, and he's playing against 2 men at the moment as well.
He's playing against 4 then.
He was. He's got Dane Harvey down there as a spare, who has taken a couple of good marks in his own right. But anyway, he's got the hot hand.
That's unbelievable.
That was off the back of Josh Carr taking the ball out of the ruck at that boundary stoppage again and getting the quick hands. So when the ball's coming in quick like that, it's just playing into Felix Flockhart's hand.
No, he's not just a tack ruckman, Josh Carr. He's certainly got confidence to grab the ball out of the ruck. Look to try and do it again on that occasion. It's come off hands. Seeger with a hand back to Campeely. He's got a bit of time and space. He's going to go long for Flockhart again. Oh, he got hands to it. It's come out the back here for Ryan Agg, who dances, twists and tweaves. He hands it back, looking for Hamish Diggs. Sets a kick up towards full forward. Cormack front spot. Knocks it through for a rush behind. I don't think tweaves is a word, but it sounded good.
I don't think so either. But anyway, we'll check it in the dictionary tonight.
the Funk and Wagnall.
Funk and Wagnall's correct.
Cormack with the kick in. Where is Petchy when you need him? Now,
there's a bit of confusion out there.
That's the second time that's happened with Cormack. I'm not sure whether he's kicking it in too quickly or must be waiting for the... Oh, that's a short kick, sorry, from Cormack. Free kick, though, for Brodie Easton, chop of the arms.
I wasn't under the impression you had to wait. I thought you could go.
Yeah, I thought, any time you want to, as long as the point's been confirmed by the field umpire.
Anyway, umpires know best.
Barring on the back flank. 16-point lead all of a sudden for the Tunners. They've got motoring in this second term. 5 goals to 1. Kick looking for Schilling, gathers on the bounce, back to Barring, who's got to get away, hands it to the ruckman, Clark, back to Barring again. They just about work it out there, Old Scotch, up towards half forward. Ball's going to favour Campeely here. He's got to gather it cleanly. He gets the hand pass away. The cavalry arrive, gets it back that time from Montanaro. There was a bit of a hit off the ball. There's a Cardinal who's down. Good kick from Campeely over to Hope, and now McNabb, and he's going to look for Flockhart again. It's a good spoil that time there from Harvey. He was in good position there, Flockhart, and Dixon gets it, goes looking for Brown, and he's going to marshal this out of defence. Goes up the line, kick to Lean, who's got it on the wing, wants to move it quickly. He had runners alongside, instead he goes with a kick in board to Schilling, goes back to the flight and takes the mark. Feeds the hand pass across, kick inside 50, Spencer, Tweedy did so well there. Used the body to perfection and took the mark and wastes no time across to Howden in the opposite pocket. Montanaro running further afield. The short kick goes to him now. He's marked it just inside defensive 50. And they're happy to just slow things up here. 25 gone in this second term. It'll be a longer quarter, this one. 6 goals kicked. Oh, that's a drop mark. Just enough time to recover. The hand pass back to Montanaro. It was Harry Hill who had to clean up his own mess there. The kick up the line's no good. Scotch have won it back on the wing. There's a kick to Brown, who's just marked, despite the attention of Lohan. In the centre of Camberwell Sportsground here.
Just noticing a little bit of fatigue setting in for both teams. A few missed kicks.
It's been an absorbing first half. Easton, hands in the back. And the umpire says push in the back.
The umpire was in perfect position there. He was right behind him. Snuck up on the player and said, I saw what you did.
There's hands in the back, there's push in the back, and they're not the same. But a free kick this time going the way of the Tunners. Kick up towards he's centre half back. And the mark's been taken by Lohan. I'm not sure if he's just landed heavily on a hard surface.
He jammed his knee into the ground. Keep an eye on that one for you, for Author Sport.
Oh, Hugo, he's all over it, the credits.
Great company, Author Sport. Long-time sponsor.
Reinhag. He's got it now at half-back. He just sends a kick long down the line. Oh, and a good mark there by Cork. He's been paid. Oh, and he sells the dummy as well. Goes with the outside of the boot. Now, Flockhart is the target down there. 2 can spy to knock it away from him, but it's rode by Carianis, who dribbles it. And he got the goal too, Michael Carianis.
Now, Michael Carianis went to the fence to get high fives, and there was no one at the fence. He had to tap the top of the fence.
Yeah, he forgot he was on enemy territory.
We'll have to get Dylan in the office to get that one up on the socials.
Michael Carianis.
He knocked on the door and there was no one home.
With the goal. Not created by Flockhart that time, but bringing it to ground, providing the contest, sets up another goal. 6-6-42 Old Brighton, 3-2-20 Old Scotch. TLC Healthcare scoreboard in this second term, and it's 6 goals to 1 in the quarter for the Tunners. They have flexed their muscle here.
Yeah, it certainly is. That was where every Scotch player was very Felix Flockhart conscious. They all went to him, so opened the door from old Carianis.
Clark that time. Won the tap down, straight to Geordie Seager.
One of the great names in the VAFA too. Carianis.
It is a good one.
That one. Peachy loves it too.
Carr grabs it out of the ruck again. It's his Wanwood. He goes towards full forward. Oh, it was a big fly over the top. And it was Cork who gathered it.
Felix.
Goes it towards full forward. Felix again off hands. It's come away here for the Cardinals. They should just be able to get out of trouble. But here he goes again. Gus Cork applying the tackle. He's locked things up, and it will be a stoppage inside 50. Tell you what, the way this is going, Flockhart could well have 10 by the end of the match. Yeah. He's got 5. He's on track. They're looking for him at every opportunity. Looks to grab this one out of the ruck. Gathered by Frenetic, who throws it on the boot. Bouncing ball. Tweedy was trying to reel it in. He only got a hand to it. Eluded him, and it's gone out of play for a boundary throw in.
Deep into time on, Matty, but it's a very dangerous time for Scotch. The last thing Scotch need is for Old Brighton to kick another goal this quarter. The lead's starting to get away from them a little bit.
It's been 6-3 to 1 straight for the quarter.
From 5 to Felix Flockhart.
Yeah. Clark just sort of fell down there when picking up the ball. Attention from Geordie Seager.
And obviously Flockhart's dominance down there has forced Mark Nats from Scotch's hand and had to throw the extra forward, and it's hurting them when they move the ball forward. They haven't got options. Forward half of the ground.
Oh, Josh Carr throwing his weight around. Strong tackle from the big fella. He is not afraid to get in on the act, Josh Carr.
No, and he's only a young lad, but this gives them the bonus of being able to put Felix Flockhart forward. Out of the ruck again.
Grabs it out of the ruck again. Brown, Sharks at that time, goes with the hand, pass back, kick off off the side of the boot. McNabb looking for the mark, but it's gone off hands and out of play. Yeah, I think they've abandoned plans of rotating because they did a bit of rotation that first term. I think it's Flockhart forward, car rucking now.
Well, especially when they've got the advantage of the wind, which is actually dropping off a little bit now, matey. The trees aren't moving whatsoever.
There he goes again. And then off to Hill. Goes up towards centre half forward. It's come off hands. Hamish Dick was the target. Dixon was back there, and he goes across to Japp, who's marked on the half-back flank. Played a hand in the opening goal of the game. Goes short to Ryan Walsh. And then wants to bring the kick up towards the wing to Dixon, who marks on the second attempt. And there is the siren for half-time. And what a dominant second term it was from the reigning premiers, the Tunners. They trailed by 11 points at quarter time. They have turned that into the main break into a 22-point advantage. 6-6-42 to 3-2-20, my apologies, Old Scotch. The goal scorers for this point, there has only been one multiple goal kicker for the match, but it is Felix Flockhart who's kicked 5, all of them in that second quarter. Quite remarkable. The only other one who ruined the copybook for Old Brighton, Michael Carianis, was looking good other to that. He's got the only other goal for the Tunners. For Old Scotch, the single goal kickers to this point, Quinn Spencer, Nick Baring and Will Clark. That second quarter brought to you by TLC Healthcare. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. Just your brief thoughts before we take a break at halftime.
Oh, look, there was an absolute coaching masterclass there from Marcel Bruin in the thoughts of throwing Felix Flockhart forward. Had immediate effect and has been match defining, I think. But also the ability of Brighton to lift their work rate. They realised that they hadn't worked hard enough to create options, started moving the ball at pace and were able to give first option to Felix Flockhart forward. And they were able to do that off the back of Josh Carr in the ruck. I mean, I nominated earlier that I saw him earlier this year in a representative game, a game against Perth team. I can't remember what it was. But he took it out of the ruck about 6 or 7 times. And I said he's known to this, and it has had effect. I mean, once we saw him take it out of the ruck to the advantage of Felix Flockhart for that amazing diving mark. Now, for Mark Nat, he's got to make his ruckman aware that if you don't win the tap, if you give him front and centre space, he will take it out of the ruck. So the ruckman has to be aware of that. The inside mids have to be aware of that as well. You can't let him run away from the centre of the square, because if they want to be a contested team, and look, Scotch got beaten at the contested ball then again. Now, you know, they had a great first quarter, weren't able to back it up with the second quarter. This is pattern forming now. We've seen this 2 weekends in a row. And they'll be looking up at the scoreboard, and scoreboard pressure is building. I mean, they can say, you know, that's the scoring end of the ground. We need to do that this quarter. But there's got to, and force the hand to throw, you know, play number one, put it one behind the ball. So they put Dane Harvey behind the ball. On their entries, they lack those extra options. So it's a little bit of a concern for the Cardinals, Matty.
Well, they were up by 11 points at quarter time this week, 12 last week. And in the second quarter last week, they conceded 6 goals 2, and this week they've conceded 6 goals 3.
There you go. I mean, this is, you know, it's rinse and repeat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, they're playing against, you know, the benchmark of the competition, Old Brighton. They were looking to bounce back after the loss last week, and that first quarter, you could see Marcel Bruin. I could see him at quarter time. He was a little bit agitated, but he was very measured, and he was very pointed with what he wanted his team to lift and improve on. One was that contested ball. 2 was moving the ball at pace. He felt they were too slow, waiting for options to open up. Well, they've done that beautifully that quarter.
Yeah. And I imagine he'll be a little happier with where things sit at the main break.
And I'm heading down to both rooms. I'm a bit scared to go into the Scotch room.
Just stay as close to the wall as you can. Get out of the way. Half-time here at Camberwell Sportsground, a 22-point advantage to Old Brighton over Old Scotch in the grand final replay. This is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day here, live streaming on VAFA TV and the SEN app. We will take a quick break for half-time. We hope to have the 2 presidents, Angus McQueen of Old Scotch, Marshall Hill of Old Brighton, with us. Hugo Higginbotham will be joining us as well at the end of the half-time break for the second half to get the notes from the 2 rooms. But we'll take a quick break here at Camberwell Sportsground, bring you the half-time show and the second half right after this.
VAFA action is back, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Halftime here at Camberwell Sportsground. This is VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round 4 footy on SEN's Match of the Day on the SEN app and live streaming on VAFA TV. The grand final rematch, and it is Old Brighton who have a 22-point advantage at the main break. There's currently the halftime show for Lexus of Brighton, The Relentless Pursuit of Perfection. Matthew Doll is my name, and I've got the two presidents of the two clubs here, Angus McQueen of Old Scotch and Marshall Hill of Old Brighton with us. Gentlemen, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with you, Marshall, because your team is in front. A cagey opening term, but they got things back on track a bit more in that second quarter.
Well, Scotch had the wind in the first quarter, and so they did pretty well with it. And I thought we did pretty well to hang on, just to be a couple of points down at quarter time. So yeah, good start, and just the second quarter, kept going, and it's a pretty even game, I reckon. We'll see what happens after three-quarter time.
And have you felt about the sort of season overall? A month in, on top of the ladder, 3-1 record, defending champions, of course. What have you made of the opening 4 games?
Oh, I think it's been a solid start. I think we're the hunted this year, so everybody's going to come after us. So the boys have done really well so far. The club's going really well, and the seniors and the reserves are having a good start to the season. So couldn't be happy with the way things are going. Sure, last week we lost by a couple of points, but it's a long season, so we'll just wait to see how it goes.
And Angus, we had you on last week, and you flagged that there was going to be a big special function here today. The 5-time day, 5-time night premiership, as he likes to be called. Dermot Brereton's here. How's that been?
It's been fantastic to have Dermot at our club, and Marshall was with us at the lunch, and Dermot had us eating out of his hand with his premiership stories and his many experiences through AFL and all the way back to his first game and his junior experiences. So it was just wonderful to have all our supporters in there listening to Dermot. He's actually in the rooms right now. He might be giving them a bit of a rev up. So anything could happen.
Any chance of pulling on the jumper in the second half?
Well, we might need him down in the forward line because the Brighton defence is pretty strong.
Yeah, they're going all right. Yeah, he was fantastic to listen to. Always awesome, very entertaining guy. And it was great to hear about how he all started through the. And when he was 14, wasn't it? Yeah. It was great. Yeah, it was a great listen.
No, he's someone who's got a very storied playing career right from his debut at the 1982 semi-final. I think it was. He kicked 5 that day, and obviously the 89 grand final. Lots of great stories with Dermot. So, I mean, I guess a terrific occasion, no doubt. Gents, the one thing that I hadn't actually touched on last week, the Big V squads came out, and both of your clubs are well represented. I mean, for Old Scotch, Henry Brown, Angus Jones, Charlie Cormack, Will Clark, Alex Noblet, and then for the Tunners, Geordie Seeger, Harry Hill, Campbell Tweedy, Finn Campili, Hamish Dick and Luke McNabb all involved. That's huge representation just from two clubs. You both must be enormously proud of what those players have been able to achieve.
Oh, it's fan. I mean, I'm very happy. There's a lot of new guys in that squad this year, and they're well deserved after years and years of playing down for Old Brighton. So to see someone like Finn Campigli and Luca McNabb playing down there, it's just it's fantastic. And Scotch got a fair few in there as well, so it's great.
Yeah, absolutely, Marsh. I said to the boys on Thursday night, this is very special just to be in that squad, and hopefully you make the next cut. And the VAFA does a great job with the Big V every year, and the travel and playing, and then the reunions, and the kind of remembering it forever, and never letting it fall off the radar about the game that happened this year, or that's going to happen this year.
It's going to be a terrific one. June 6th is that Big V representative match in South Australia, so it's going to be really exciting. Marshall, I haven't really spoken. I don't think I've done an Old Brighton. I've done one Old Brighton game, but didn't have you on the half-time show. Obviously, a lot of the focus is always sort of on the on-field from our point of view, watching the game and who's going to win the premiership. In terms of an off-field sense for Old Brighton, are there any sort of goals or objectives or targets that the club have in mind that they're looking to achieve this year?
I think just to build, like it's the start of the season, with about 2 weeks to go, we still had 30 or 40 guys who wanted to play footy, and wasn't a team for them. So just to us provide an environment for everybody to come down and have a kick and be able to have a game at Old Brighton. That's something we just that's what we're really focused on. And everybody's about community, and you guys are as well. So Gus, it's all about building the community, making it feel welcome. I mean, our boys went through Brighton Grammar, not obviously, but they did. And you kind of think you're never going to get that feeling again once you leave school. And then we want to make sure that every parent, every new player comes down and feels just like it was at Brighton Grammar. So it's just a great community.
And we've talked about in the lead up to the game the recent rivalry between you two. You've played in a heap of memorable contests, and you've both had your fair share of the spoils, a premiership each in the last two grand finals. Tell us about the mutual respect between the two clubs, because it does feel like there's a real healthy competition between these two teams in particular. Yeah,
look, it's enormous. Having two repeat grand finals the last 2 years is as strong as it gets, and we've got a lot of respect for Marshall and Old Brighton Footy Club, and the way that so many players come through from the school every year. That is a great sign, and we are working to make our connection at Scotch College as strong as that is too.
It's been great. I think it was 2017 we played in the B grade grand final as well. So it's been going ever since I've been back at Old Brighton watching Harry play, and just year after year, I feel like we just play. It's a bit like Geelong Hawthorn, isn't it? You feel like it's a bit like that every year. We play them twice a year, and it's just always a ding-dong battle. So just really love playing against Scotch, and got to know Gus over the last. Bought him lunch, didn't I, Gus?
Yes,
that was good, and he had me back today, and it's just great to get to know Gus and all the new Scotchies as well this year, being president of Old Brighton.
Likewise.
No, well, we're looking forward to the latest chapter being written in this second half. We'll let you both go, but thank you very much for your time.
No worries, man.
Thanks very much.
Marshall Hill and Angus McQueen, the presidents of Old Brighton and Old Scotch, respectively. It's been a terrific rivalry in recent years between these two sides, and the latest chapter being written here at Camberwell Sportsground. It is half-time at the moment, and it is the Tunners who lead by 22 points at the main break. 6 goals to 1 in the second term has opened up that advantage. 5 of those 6 majors going the way of Felix Flockhart. This is the half-time show for Lexus of Brighton, the relentless pursuit of perfection. Around the grounds for Bendigo Bank, Canterbury, Ashburton, Surrey Hills and Baldwin. Owned by local community and delivering all your personal and business banking needs. Profits go back into the community, including Old Scotch's electronic scoreboard and goal nets, which you'll have seen if you're watching on VAFA Live TV throughout the course of the first half. And the nets are looking terrific also. In terms of how things stand with Premier Men's scores at the moment, there are a couple of interesting results at quarter time. If we make our way to University Oval, Old Zavs at the main break have actually opened up a lead. They trailed by 14 points at quarter time. They lead 7-4-46 to 5-10-40 over the University Blues at this stage. So that's an interesting turnaround there from Old Zav's perspective. St Kevin's have flipped the script on Caulfield Grammarians. They trailed at quarter time, St Kevin's, but now they've got a big old lead, 7-9-51 over 2-6-18. So St Kevin's leading by 33 points at the main break there, 6 goals to none in that second quarter. At St Bernard's College, an interesting one underway between St Bernard's and University Blacks. University Blacks with 6 goals of their own for the quarter against St Bernard's. 7-3-45 plays 5-3-33 there. So the Uni Blacks looking for 2 wins on the bounce. And then the final match at Miles Playing Field, the Daily Oval. Old Trinity have kicked away ahead of Old Haileybury. They lead 7-5-47 to 3-4-22 at the main break. So quite interesting as I welcome Hugo Higginbotham back into the broadcast. Hugo, I'm not sure how much of that you heard, but every game in the Premier Men's has had one team kicking 5 goals or 6 goals in the second quarter to kick away.
Yeah, amazing, Matty. It's a good day for footy. So you'll often find first quarters are generally tight fought and they sound each other out, and then one side takes the momentum, as we saw Old Brighton do there. So interesting.
5 goals to 1, 6 goals to none, 6 goals to 1, 5 goals to none, and then 6 goals to 1 this quarter.
Straight kicking.
Yeah, it's all been very fascinating stuff indeed. The other one, Premier B, I've got to have a close look at this, Hugo, because my tipping for
you need to have a close look at your tipping.
I need to have a hard look at myself, not a close look at the tipping, I think. But let's sort of see how we're going here. Collegians against Old Ivanhoe. Collegians leading by 35 points. I tipped Collegians, so good. That's a good start. De La Salle against Beau Morris here, 12-74 to 5-8-38. I'll be honest, I don't remember who I tipped in that one, but I'm guessing...
De La Salle are in front, are they?
That De La are in front so far, so that's a handy lead for them. And as I go through Prem B, I tipped De La Salle. Okay, so we're looking good
there
early.
There we go, you're back.
two for two. Old Melburnians against Old Geelong. At this stage, Old Melburnians have a 14-point lead at the main break, and I tipped Old Melburnians. Okay. Ajax against Williamstown CYMS. Ajax lead by 10 points at the main break, and I tipped Williamstown for that one.
Okay.
It's okay, it's only 10 points. And then Old Carey and Old Camberwell. The Panthers lead by 1 point, and I tipped them. So it's all looking great now.
Well, it's
half time.
There's not much point of the conversation, Matty, because you took the easy way out. You took the same tips as Braden. I heard the podcast, the award-winning podcast. I thought that wasn't brave by you. You need to put your neck on the line.
Why do you think I let him go first?
Yeah. I thought you were looking over his shoulder.
No, but that's where things stand in Prem B. So listen to Braden. Don't listen to me, because I listen to Braden.
Yeah, no, I'm not listening to you. We only work together. I won't take tipping advice anyway.
Smart people don't listen.
Yes.
Halftime show thanks to Lexus of Brighton. Hugo, you've been in both rooms?
I have. 2 sort of stark different rooms. Very positive in the Brighton room. Marcel Bruin was very happy with the movement of the players, how they weren't stagnating in holes, creating opportunities for each other, and obviously very complimentary to Felix Flockhart, which was great to see. Mark Nat in the Brighton, in the Scotch room, he was, he's still very up and about. He was a bit disappointed in the players not taking their chances in moments and not being in the game constantly. So there's moments out there where someone switches off a little bit, he was talking about, and that opens up a hole for Brighton and Brighton taking it. So we're going to be an interesting third term. Win not playing a part anymore, and I will be expecting to see a little bit of Clarkey rolling forward as well to try and get on the scoreboard.
Well, they're going to have to do something different in this second half. Old Scotch, Old Brighton leading by 22 points as we begin the second half of this match. Carr got a tap to at that time. Burnell caught in the tackle by Frenetic, and we'll have a secondary stoppage in the centre of the ground. Great to chat with Angus McQueen and Marshall Hill at half-time. 2 presidents. I heard all the stories about Dermot Brereton, who's been their special guest at the lunch today.
He was actually in the Scotch rooms listening to the half-time address. The great man himself.
Well, I did ask the question if he was going to pull on the Cardinals jumper in that second half and maybe give Will Clark a bit of a chop out in that forward line. And I think Angus McQueen was hoping but not expecting. Boundary throw in here in front of the interchange gates. Clark with the front spot that time. Campili was caught in the tackle by Simons. Then Clark turns tackler and locks things up. Third quarter brought to you by Jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundura. Carr could only get a tap to it that time because he was pushed in the back and the umpires duly paid the free kick. Advantage taken by the Tunners. Kick up to half forward. Hamish Dix got it. Still a good 2 kicks from goal. He's going to go with a central kick inside 50 and getting back with the flight, taking the mark there. Free kick has been paid regardless. It's going to be Brown who's got it. Arm chop or a free kick, take your pick. They're in the back. Thanks to Buttons.
This is nothing, our Buttons.
Brown kick up the line, up towards the wing. McNabb with the spoil away. One back here by Cork, who goes with a high kick. It'd bring rain. Flockhart came from behind, couldn't take the mark. Rode by Carianis again. His kick was smothered. And Hamish Dick Richardson just fumbles it over the boundary line for a throw in. And inside attacking 50, as close as we've got to the action all day, Hugo. The ball right here.
Yeah, have a great view. Front row seats here, Matty, in this historic grandstand.
It's a good crowd that's turned out today for this grand final rematch. Clark front spot. Seeger was trying to crash through. Clark did so successfully in the end. Fight out the hand pass to Troon, who shrugged a tackle. Looks to go backwards. Good tackle, though, applied on Townsend by Campili.
I think he had a prior there, to be quite honest. I think he rode the tackle, had the hands. But the umpire was in great position there. So very good pressure from Brighton.
Going to apply the clamps here. The Tunners. Carianis with a kick up towards full forward through the hands of Richardson. Brown sweeps the hand pass across the field to play to Dixon, who straightens with a kick up towards centre half back. Hasn't found its target. Chance here for the Tunners. Are they good enough? Dick with a kick, little forward. Lohan back to McNabb. Gathered it cleanly in the left hand. Goes towards centre half forward. Over the head of everybody. Hand pass comes out now to Cormac. Shrugs a tackle and a second one. And he's got a man free on the wing. If the kick can find him, it just about gets to Spencer. He taps it forward. Lohan getting back though for the Tunners. Gets rid of the tackle. Hands it over to Harry Hill. Loops another one across, and the Tunners can set things up once more. Kick up to Richardson on the half-forward flank. He's got it about 50 metres out from goal. Looks to go in towards the pocket. Flockhart on the charge again, but the kick's gone over his head. Easy pickings for Will Townsend in the end, who takes the relieving mark on the last line of defence. And they've got a bit of space here on the back flank suddenly. Mark taken by McMillan on the back flank. It's got Clark running alongside, looks to go with a kick further afield. Mark not taken there by Frenetic at the ground level. Now Frenetic crashes in, comes out now. Troon was in there fighting hard, so was Carr. They all fall on top of it, and the umpire says, give it to me.
So just with those couple of entries there, very Felix Flockhart focused both teams. So with Townsend peeling off, they need to find that extra. Because Townsend got a man, so he'd be free somewhere. That's what the Cardinals need to try and stop.
And they've won it again here. Kick towards half-forward. Brown was leading Ag to the ball, and then Ag applies the tackle. And it's another stoppage, this time on the left half-forward flank for the Tunners. Still no score in this second half. 3 minutes gone. The jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundura. Carr grabbed it out of the ruck once more. But he wanted to get the hands free. Instead he goes with a kick up towards full forward. Cormac flew from the side. Is the mark going to be paid? No, it's not. The umpire was quick to call play on there. Cormac does well to get the hand pass away. Townsend trying to trap it. He was held without it and will get the free kick. The umpire made a rod for his own back by calling play on straight away there, before Cormac had the second go at it.
Yeah, because Cormac just punched the ball, and he was the only one to touch it with a punch, and then he took the mark. So he was the only person to touch it, so that is a mark.
Great kick in the middle of the ground from East and finds Nick Barring, who's held up well, gets the hand pass away to Brown. Kick up towards centre half forward is nice. And looking to wheel and go here with another kick inside 50. That time it was Jones who found Spencer at a bit of space with a cute little kick inside 50. And Spencer, a chance to become Old Scotch's first multiple goal kicker of the day.
Yeah, that was good work by the Scotchies there. They found the overlap and they worked hard to get back the other end of the ground, harder than Brighton running backwards. So that's why they had to spare all the way up the ground. And a very unorthodox kick by Jones, but it doesn't matter what it looks like, Matty, as long as it takes effect.
Well, it counts. Just got to hit the target.
I'm not 100% sure he was aiming for Spencer then, but anyway.
Quinn Spencer will be kicking from 50 metres out, 45 to go on the left boot. It looks good in flight, and it's got there. The first of the second half going the way of the Cardinals. Quinn Spencer's got his second. Goes up to 6 for the season. And that's just what Old Scotch needed. 4-2-26 play, 6-6-42. The Jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundura scoreboard, premium partner. Whose success in real estate is stamped over 50 years of service to these communities. Delivering exceptional results, high clearance rates and repeat businesses, they believe that their common goal is shared success.
It's a lovely common goal, Matty.
It is.
So we all should hope for. Just wish the Victorian government thought about that. Anyway, Feds as well. Geez, it's been a hell of a week. Sell everything, Matty.
Clark back in the middle. And then it's Seeger who got the kick forward. Trickling ball inside, attacking. 50 bounces a couple of times. Flockhart slides the hand pass away to Ag. Easy goal. Too good, Felix Flockhart. If he's not kicking them, he's setting them up. And the simplest of finishes in the end for Ryan Ag, who just dribbles it through from the top of the goal square. And the Tunners get the quick reply. 7-6-48 to 4-2-26. Lovely team goal from the Tunners.
It was. Excellent clearance and just that fast ball moving aggression forward. And then Felix Flockhart, there's nothing the man can't do. Goal assists. I think he's been involved in every goal that they've kicked.
Yep, he's kicked 5. He brought the Carry-Oners goal to ground.
Yes.
And then that one.
Yeah. 2 goal assists and, geez, unbelievable.
Expert comments and political editorials. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ.
Don't get me started on that, mate. Jeez.
Carr looks to get this one again. He had a bit of a fumble, though. Seeger off the back of the square. Barring. Gets out of trouble. Snaps up towards centre half forward. Spencer the target again. Comes out now. There was Harvey. Snap around the body from Simon. Spencer once more. Fires the hand pass, looking for Dixon. Can he gather it? No. Howden getting in the way. And then so too is Sazzoni, although Dixon kept on fighting. He got the hand pass away to Jones, who snaps indiscriminately towards goal. Comes over the top, lands at the goal square. Can Harvey gather it? He can. He's brought down to ground, and they get away with it in the end, the Tunners. Kick looking for Richardson, who's got to fly. Went 3 weeks early, and the umpire has paid a free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Cardinals in the end. I can only assume an unrealistic attempt, but I thought Richardson might have actually got hands to that.
He definitely got hands to the ball. So unless it was the pushing action early, I'm not sure. Didn't see what the umpire paid, but the umpires are always right, Matty.
They are. And it's Frenetic who's got the free kick here.
Might be testing his distance, though.
He's kicked 3 goals this season. He's going to have a go from 50. Strikes it nicely. Just going to land across the face of goal and fall a bit short too. Although it's fallen here for the young fella in Japp, who goals! And look at him get around him! Big moment for Howie Japp. He's got his first on his senior debut. What a moment for the young man. Wearing the number 20, kicks a big goal for the Cardinals. They've got 2 of the first 3 to start their second half. 5-2-32 plays, 6-6-42. And a goal a day contender for the Auburn Hotel. Great moment for Howie Japp.
Excellent goal, and you like that he's wearing his father's number. You'd like to see that family connection in his 101st club game and first senior game. I love that stat.
That's great.
But you see the advantage there of a deep forward entry to a dangerous spot. So the Cardinals were always lurking there, and it was a very good finish actually under pressure.
They're getting the scoreboard ticking over now. The Cardinals, can they string back-to-back goals together? They're winning the clearance, but they're having to go back with it. Eventually, Charlie Jackson gets it, but it's intercepted by Pryor. But now Brody Easton is coming through. Clark gives it away, and now a kick there from Lean up towards the wing, but there was, well, he was tackled as he kicked it. It affected the pass. In the end, Geordie Seeger intercepts for the Tunners. Kick up the line towards Pryor on the wing. 8.5 gone in this third term. Intercepted there by Jackson. A short kick up the line. Loops one over the top for Spencer. Can he gather it on the bounce? He does. He looks for Simons. Coming the other way there was Hill. Applies the tackle. Seeger, he locks up his man, and it's gone out of play. Mandry throw in once again.
So a lot of pressure out there, mate. He's very hard to get time and space. And that's why we're seeing quite a few stoppages. Edging Brighton's way, though, at the moment.
He'll be tossed in at half forward here for the Cardinals, who've kicked 2 of the last 3 goals. Ball comes loose. Simons tries to take on McNabb and Seeger. Good luck. And they've just about worked it inside attacking 50 of the Cardinals. Carr that time won the tap out. Shark by Frenetic. Hand pass cut out by Burnell. He's caught in a good tackle though, and it's a free kick. Ryan Walsh, I think that is. Or in fact, he might have been in there, but he's not taking the kick. It's going to be McMillan who's got it instead. Ned McMillan was dropped last week after 18 touches and 2 goals against the Old Zaverians back in round 3.
Still eligible for under 19s too, Matty.
There's a few of them out there.
Yeah, there is. Quite a lot. So
Ned McMillan, he's kicked 3 goals in the 3 games he's played so far. Can he make it 4 here? He sends the kick on its way. It's going to go across the face. And it's through for a minor score. And McMillan, 5-3-33, plays 7-6-48. The lead back to 15 points here.
Scott should be looking to defend this one, get another forward shot on goal.
McNabb with the kick in, drives a kick up towards the back flank. Brown with the spoil, goes over the back here, and Brighton are out the back all of a sudden. Carianis runs up the line, goes towards half forward, although Ferguson playing in front of Flockhart takes the mark. It's a good win there for the young man, and he looks to waste no time. Cormac, he changed his mind there. Thought about the dangerous kick inboard. Instead he goes wide to Jackson, who goes down the line, kicks to Clark. Not a great kick to him, but he's got time and space to gather it. Then wants to come inboard, hands it over to Brodie Easton, who's run himself into a bit of trouble. Gets away from them though. Kick towards half forwards, a beauty. Mark was dropped. Gathered here by Jack. Kicks towards goal. It's going to go across the face again. Jones was running back with a flight. And Howie Japp's pushed it across the face. 1-1 for Howie Japp. But they're peppering away here, Old Scotch. They're sort of getting the game back on their terms once more. 5-4-34, play 7-6-38. The scoreboard for Jellis Craig, Stonington and Mundura in this third term.
Scotch have a real pattern. When they get the ball in transition, they like to move it to the outside of the ground, which is unusual. So, Felix Flockhart right up the ground.
Long way from home, but he takes a good, strong mark, does Felix Flockhart. 5 goals in the second term for him.
Just having a little turn in the ruck, it appears.
Goes a long kick down the line, goes over the head of everybody, comes out the back. Brown goes with a kick or towards centre half back, which is effective. Jackson, who's starting to get involved in this third term, Charlie Jackson.
Once again moving to the outside of the ground.
They've switched this one nicely. Nick Barring. Brighton have been able to sort of flood numbers across here. It goes to the kick to Clark, who came in from the side. Couldn't take the mark, though. Has to rove it as Will Clark. Then he's caught in a good tackle, and that will be holding the ball. Good pressure there. I think that was Montanaro in the end. Good tackle, short kick to McNabb's, not 15. He takes the mark, he hands it over to Campili, who's got to kick it hurriedly up towards the wing, and that might be a free kick for a push against Ryan Agg. Mark had to be taken. In the end, it was dropped, but the free kick is going to go the way, regardless of Will Townsend.
That's okay. It gives him time to set up behind the ball, take away Scotch's options. It was a smart free kick, actually.
As in short to Brodie Easton. 2-1 in this term in favour of the Cardinals. Another short kick. They're just looking to find blokes in space. Lean hands it over to the running Brown. Up towards half forward. It's not a good kick. It's easily cut off by Montanaro, who's the only one who ever looked likely to mark it. It's a couple of important defensive interventions from Quinton Montanaro, who goes inboard to Sazzoni, and that's been turned over. Dane Harvey swooped in. The kick was looking for Agg. No peripheral vision at all. Wouldn't want to be driving next to him on the road. And Dane Harvey has come from nowhere and taken the mark, and he's got an opportunity to conjure a goal out of absolutely nothing.
Bit of tunnel vision there, Matty.
Oh, absolutely.
Straight ahead.
No idea.
That's the way my wife drives. It's our car.
I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah, lucky she doesn't listen to me anymore. She's sick of me.
Dane Harvey, a big kick coming here for Old Scotch. A chance to kick back-to-back goals and to close the gap back to 8 points. He comes in, he's flirted with the right-hand goalpost, but he has just crept it in, Dane Harvey. Big goal on return for Harvey. And they've got 3 of the opening 4 goals here in this second half to the Cardinals. 6-4-40, plays 7-6-48. The margin back to 8 points on the Jellis Craig, Stonington and Bundura scoreboard.
That was a very important goal there for Scotch. That brings it back to 8 points, as we said, Matty. And you just noticed Brighton were just trying to control the tempo of the game there a little bit, slow it down, chew up the minutes of the quarter, just get the ball back on their terms. And he read that beautifully and intercepted it very, very well and finished off. So that was good. So 8 points now. They need to kick the next one, Scotch. They need to get this margin right down before three-quarter time.
Really make it interesting. Flockhart's kick was smothered. It's come out now. Lean. Intercepted by Burnell. And then Hill with a kick inside 50 looking for Pryor. Oh, he used the body well. Couldn't complete the mark. Landed like a cat, though. Got the hand pass back into a central location. Seeger's kick was scruffy. It's come loose. Jackson, can he gather it cleanly? He hacks it off the ground. Agricultural, but effective. Comes out now to Jones, who spins away from his man. Kicks inboard. Turnover, potentially. They've got the numbers here, the Tunners. But a free kick's been given away by Flockhart. He couldn't get all the way down to Howie Japp, and he's got him over the shoulder. Free kick to the youngster. On the right boot, just goes inside 50. Where's Harvey? Will Clark? Harvey. He flew. He couldn't take the mark. And now it's fallen here for ground level. Campili's there for the Tunners. Gets the hand pass forward, although it's coming back. Harvey, hand pass inboard, cut out by Seeger. Runs around a couple of blokes, gets it to Campeely. Kick towards centre half back is no good. It's swept on by Jones. Jones goes for goal. And he's pushed it offline. 2 behinds for Angus Jones, but they nearly conjured another goal out of nothing there, Old Scotch. It's back to 7 points on the jealous Craig Sonington and Bundoora scoreboard. 6-5, play 7-6. The Tunners leading, but the Cardinals are coming.
Tunners need to maintain possession now and not try and do anything too fancy because Scotch are on. Their momentum is swinging their way. Oh, turnover.
Campeely looking for Flock out, but Townsend swooped in. Marks at half forward. He can send this back inside attacking 50. Where's Harvey? Where's Clark? Spears a pass inboard looking for the former. Comes out now to Campeely, who goes with a kick. Here's Cormac. Big fly over the top. Charlie again. Repeat entries now for the Cardinals. Where's this one going? Looks for Clark. Oh, he got hands to it. Barring was there at the ground level, but it will be coming out here for the Tunners. Hill's got a turn tackler though on Brown. Well done by Brown. Got the hand pass away to Toon, and he's been caught in a tackle. Umpire red hot on that. That's holding the ball. Old Brighton free kick. To be taken at half back. Short little kick to Burnell up the wing. The 22-point lead has been whittled down to 7 here at Camberwell Sportsground. Burnell runs his full measure and then goes with a kick down the line. Spencer playing behind the ball, takes the mark. Unopposed at half back. Goes with a kick in board. Frenetic has to go over to ground level. He did well there. Flicked it over to Brown, who goes up towards half forward, but it's an ill-directed kick, favouring Montanaro the whole way. It goes out to Burnell on the back flank. Short to Pryor. Tunners just want to move it slowly. Short to Hamish Dick now. Short kicking is the order of the last few minutes here for the Tunners. And he's going to try and set up a kick for Harry Hill. Brown got across, was pumped off the mark. Cormac was there. His hand pass was charged down and eventually goes out of play for a boundary throw-in at right half forward for Old Brighton.
Plenty of numbers around the ball, Scotch, here, so we're looking for their pressure to put a lot of pressure, obviously, on Brighton. Because Brighton are in panic stage, not panic stage a little bit, but they're trying to get control of the game back with this momentum swing.
Will Townsend playing spare behind the ball as well for Old Scotch here. Brady is there and it's been locked up. 7-point advantage still for Old Brighton, but they led by 22 points at the main break. 3-1 in favour of the Cardinals this quarter. Montanaro got it from Carr. The kick has gone high, not very far. Hill flew, Schilling at ground level. His hand pass was charged down by Burnell. It's gone out of play off hands. Boundary throw in again.
It's chewing up valuable minutes here at Brighton, so in their front half, really will hope to get working to get a score here, but there is mass congestion around the ball.
They've put an extra behind the stoppage here. That loose behind the play is now gone for the Cardinals. Barring. Beaten though by Burnell. Goes the kick up the line. Here's Carianis. Gets away from Troon. Hands it back. Howden. He goes back as well to George Hill. McNabb. Burnell again. High kick towards centre half forward. Cormac playing in front. Free kick. Going the way of Old Scotch. I think it's against Pryor. Walsh to take it on the back flank. He wanted Cormac. He's got Schilling further across with the switch and he finds him. And he looks to go quickly. Good, tell you what, Carianis was closing. Good kick though, finds Lean. And now he hands it across. Townsend, one more to Jackson. He gets it a long kick inside. Attacking 50, they've got numbers everywhere. And the mark's been taken by Nick Barring on his chest, unopposed inside 50. And he can bring the margin back to one solitary point as we approach time on here in the third quarter.
Well, we've got a lot of Old Brighton players looking very tired out there at the moment, hands on hips. They were chasing the ball in the whole way. So good ball movement by Scotch. You see the evidence of how they really like to take the ball wide. They use every blade of grass and then just find that loose one in the middle. Now Nick Barring, he kicked one today.
He's kicked 1-6 for the season, Nick Barring, but he's kicked one straight today. He's kicked 1 goal, 7 for the season now. That's wide. 1-1 for Nick Barring today, but it's one straight kick the difference at Camberwell Sportsground. VAFA William Buck match of the day here on the SEN app and live streaming on VAFA TV, and we've got a beauty on our hands. The grand final rematch. And it's living up to expectations. 7-6 old Brighton, 6-6 old Scotch. 20 gone here in the third term on the Jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundoora scoreboard. As McNabb brings the ball back into play. Frenetic setting himself, as was Carr. Neither complete the mark. Kick goes short. Mark taken though by Townsend, intercepting, going inside 50, or just up towards the attacking 50. Mark taken by Will Clark, and from here, this is not beyond him, Hugo.
No, definitely not. And that was great vision there, and a very strong mark by Clark. Very important kick, Matthew. This could give them a chance to go in at three-quarter time, either level or in front. So, great comeback. This game's really been divided by momentums and moments, hasn't it?
It has. Well, Clark kicked a beauty at the other end of the second term, and from about this distance, it was an effortless kick. He's given this everything from 50. He's given it everything! And it's given him 6 points. Will Clark locks things up here at Camberwell Sportsground. 7-6-48, 7-6-48. Jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundoora scoreboard. 22 gone here in the third term. What a beauty of a match this is turning out to be, Hugo.
Yes, it's a ripper, Matty. Swings and roundabouts in games like this, and it's a roller coaster of emotions for the coaches, isn't it?
Yes.
But look, they've played very smart here, Scotch. They're rolling the next round up to the contest, so they're working. Got options working as we've got a player leaving the field here, attended by 2 trainers, Matty. We'll have to have a look at that for Author Sport.
We will. Looks like it might be Frenetic.
Yeah, just sort of a bit of a hobble there, so it's not good news for the Scotchies.
You'll be in the old Scotch huddle at three-quarter time, Hugo, for Author Sport Victoria, so you'll figure that one out.
Yeah, I'll give him a rub.
Carr again in the ruck. I'm not getting involved. Harry Hill. And now Seager. Oh, he's handed it straight to Troon. They could take the lead in a second here, the Cardinals. Kick up towards Spencer, who got away from his man. And he's taken a good mark from the paint of 50. And a score here will give the Cardinals the lead. Well and truly into time on here in the third quarter. What a turnaround it's been. And I've got to mention to you as well, Hugo, for Old Scotch, they've kicked 3 goals in a row now.
We know what that means, Matty.
We know what that means. It needs Old Brighton winning.
It's have you gone early again? No, it's officially a comeback. No, it's been a very good quarter here for Scotch, but they have been challenged and pressed.
Spencer on the left boot from 50. That looks beautiful in flight. Gorgeous kick from Quinn Spencer. He's got 3. 4 on the trot now for the Cardinals, and all of a sudden they're in front. 8-6-54 to 7-6-48.
It's been an excellent few minutes here, this patch, but that was a great shot on goal by Spencer. Taken off again, a handball turnover in the middle of the ground, because Brighton were out, they were away, they had loose everywhere, and just Troon coming through, and beautiful vision moving forward.
I think Seager just forgot which team he was playing for a second. He just handed it straight to Troon.
Yeah, I think that's just seeing something in your peripheral vision and expecting that as your teammate, and then being in the right spot.
Clark again, got the tap down that time. It's come free, Townsend bursting through off the back of the square. Scrubs a kick up towards half forward, bouncing ball, creating a bit of chaos all of a sudden. The Tunners defence under some pressure. Clearing kick up towards the wing. Cormac was front, spot to it, and will that be a lasso? It will be. A Dairy Queen in the words of Petchy. Free kick to the Tunners now. It goes sideways from Travers up to Camp Healy. Scott Jamie Hope on a short lead, and again, honours it this time. Short pass, barely the 15. 28-point swing in this third term, from 22 down to 6 up. Kick up towards Flockhart, got hands to it, it was knocked away from him. Hill, they're at the ground level, gives the hand pass away, and it's going to go out of bounds, off hands. Another get there. It was good jump, but he was tackled over the boundary line.
Scotch players have done what Mark Nat's asked his scorer, and that's stay in the game. No real lapses, no bad turnovers or anything like that. No ball watching. They've been excellent.
Flockhart taking a turn to the ruck. front spot, tapped it down. Goodjar, he nearly got there. Well done by Brown at the end. Hope applying the pressure. Comes out now to Schilling. Goes with a kick up the line. Off hands. McNabb was there. Got Simons for company. They're tracking this one back towards the defensive 50. McNabb, he was taking a tackle the whole way. Umpire wave play on. It's come the way of the Cardinals. And there's a bit going on in the aftermath too. And then it's eventually seen over the boundary line. Howie Japp was there, and there's a bit of a fight going on here on the half-forward flank. Carianis, Harry Hill, Flockhart are all in there. So is Brown.
So was
Brady as well.
He was right in the middle of it all.
Ben Ferguson. That's all they're doing. How do you do? Now there's a free kick here for a hole, and it's going to go the way this time of Old Brighton. So a bit of respite here. They can try and get this one forward. To Camberwell, we just picked that up off the grass. Just.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Get back to George Hill. Trying by 6 points, Old Brighton on the Jealous Craig, Stonington and Bundoora scoreboard. Kick up the line for Richardson. Marks just inside the field of play. This slow ball movement has not worked for the Tunners in this third term.
There's no holes opening up here. There's nowhere to kick to.
This is normally where it breaks down. Yep. All they can do is, with any sort of safety, is just go sideways and backwards. Camberwell now. And he signals that he's going to go long. Flockhart is the target. They're going to go with him. The kick is wide of him. Clark in best position. Flockhart did well to knock it away from him. Carianis was there at the ground level. Richardson too. Carianis once more. Brady caught a tackle by Carianis. That's 3 efforts. And a stoppage inside, attacking 50 for the Tunners. 26 and a half gone here in this third term.
A bit of feeling out there.
It's still going.
Yeah, James Brady's involved in every one of these.
Flockhart flicks it back. Harry Hill's there. Captain's moment is on the calling. He moved it forward about 5 metres, rugby style. But no clear possession. You watch the fights, I watch the footy, Hugo.
Deal, Matty, deal.
That time it was Clark. Hill threw that one out. Umpire wave play on. Kick was smothered. Goodjar. Flying snap towards goal. It'll land at the top of the square. And it coming in from the side, taking the mark there was Jackson. That should be 50. Yep. It will be. And they just need to make sure they don't reverse this. Old Scotch, they're flying the flag against Carianis. Felix Flockhart in there too. Meanwhile, Jackson's been walked all the way to centre-half back here with the ball. And they've got some numbers here all of a sudden. But the siren will beat them and prevent them from making any further inroads inside attacking 50. As we turn for home at three-quarter time, Old Scotch have flipped the script again. What a game this has been. Trailing by 22 points at three-quarter time. They kicked 5 goals, 4 to 1 straight in the third term. And at three-quarter time, they lead 8-6-54 to 7-6-48. Thanks to Hit IQ's game-changing Protect Concussion Management System. Hugo Higginbotham, your brief thoughts before we take a break.
It was a great comeback by Scotch there. They controlled the ball majority of the time, and they were responsible in front of goals, Matty, which is a big thing that they struggled with last week. They did what Mark Nat wanted, and they stayed in the contest all the time and didn't have a little memory lapse or go away from the game. So it's set up for a fantastic last quarter here as I head down to the huddle.
No, I'll let you go, Hugo. You'll be with Old Scotch's huddle and Mark Nat at three-quarter time. What an address that's going to be. As far as the goal kickers are concerned for the Cardinals, 3 to Spencer Quinn, 2 to Will Clark, singles to Howie Japp, Nick Barring and Dane Harvey. And for Old Brighton, 5 still to Felix Flockhart, singles to Michael Carianis and Ryan Agg. This is the third quarter, or this is the VAFA William Buck Premier Men's footy here on SEN's Match of the Day and on the SEN app and on VAFA Live, or Live TV on the VAFA website. Stick around, the final term coming up after this. Old Scotch lead by 6 points as we turn for home.
VAFA action is back, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you thinking about pulling on the boots and having a kick in 2026? If so, we'd love to have you in the VAFA. Australia's largest senior footy competition has teams suited to all ages and experience, from under-19s to seniors. Log on to vafa.com.au, check out our club directory and find a club near you.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Three-quarter time here at Camberwell Sportsground. This is VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round 4 Footy on SEN's Match of the Day, the SEN app and live streaming on VAFA TV. It is Old Scotch who lead by 6 points, 8-6-54 over Old Brighton, 7-6-48. They flipped the script in that third term, 5 goals, 4-1 straight. We'll go down to the Old Scotch huddle now and listen to Mark Nat's address to the boys.
The other part, early in the quarter, Harry Dixon 1-on-3. Right? Dane Harvey coming out 1-on-2. We have contests in the first half we weren't doing. Yeah? So that means a lot. And what did it allow us to do? Play a bit more of a front half game, yeah, because they want to get sucked in across to the ball, right? That's why they play. So we need to continue to fight and fight, keep our feet and fight and stay in the contest, all right? So continue to do that. Now, forget about win. It's actually died a bit, hasn't it? Yep. Right? So that doesn't mean anything. Hey, swearing we're on the, Hugo will get upset. What's going to be the key? When we win the ball, correct composure. Now, we don't want to be just slow out of the back line. We look better when we run and carry and even chain it by hand. Our high half forwards have got to come up. So our tall's forward, right? So Fergie going back forward. Yeah, Fergie. Quinny, keep doing what you're doing. You've got to be an option for us. The half forward connectors, come up. What are you going to create in behind? Space, and then the next one. We get them here with work rate. We take the ball lateral and then forward. Lateral, forward. It doesn't need to just be a dump kick. And again, don't allow number 5 to keep taking interceptors, all right? Yeah, right. Let's pick that up there. But there's the game. Uncontested mark, that's the game right there. How we start, Ferg deep, Spencer high, Jacko up. Okay, there's the smalls, get to work. Right, Clark, Jonesy in the guts. Right, down and easy. Boys, come on. We need that quick determination. Now's the time to get it up. Right, let's back each other in.
Mark Nat with his address there to the players, and apologies for any profanities that got through. It's okay, they're not media trained, the players, we are, so it's quite all right, but we do send our apologies regardless. We will help back down now to ground level because Hugo does have the coach of Old Scotch, Mark Nat.
Thanks, Matty. Natty, fantastic quarter there. What do the boys need to do to maintain this lead?
Well, listen, it's about work rate, and we prove that when we're able to play our game and use our legs and use the outside, we can score. And I reckon the pressure that quarter upped, as I said in the break there, that it was more around our ability to hub contests, and I think we did that well and created scoring opportunities.
Wind has died off a little bit that quarter. Felix Flocker was dangerous that last quarter. How are we going to hold him?
Yeah, well, Dano's gone back, and I think Dane's had had a good day actually. So I think 1-on-1, I'm comfortable with that matchup. Fer goes back forward to give us a target, and again, I think it's it's going to come down to work rate and our ability on the outside.
It's going to be an exciting finish. Best of luck.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for that there, Mark Nat, and for Hugo Higginbotham, our special comments man. Thanks to Hit IQ's game-changing Protect Concussion Management System. It's three-quarter time here. The players are in their positions. This last quarter, brought to you by TLC Healthcare. Brighton's a principal partner. And they're going to need to win this quarter. They're going to need to flip the script once again. It's been a game of momentum. They trailed by 11 points at quarter time. They led by 22 at the half. They trailed by 6 at three-quarter time. Can they find a way, or will Old Scotch hold on? We start the last term. Clark getting the tap out. Jones starting in the centre. He's locked up immediately, and we will get a stoppage. Going again, Carr grabs it out of the ruck to Seagar. Tries to spin out of trouble. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Stoppages to start this final term. And a good tackle there by Clark has locked things up once more. Hugo, you back with us?
Back here, Matty. Geez, that was an exciting huddle, that three-quarter time one. Feeling very good in the Scotch camp.
It's come loose here. Dixon, who he slipped, and it worked to his advantage in the end because Montanaro caught him high, and they're wasting no time. They want to keep moving it quickly. Simon's up towards ball forward. Ferguson's playing forward now. Cork was there contending with him. Ball's in dispute. Jackson hands it out, barring once more. He's been busy today. Was that a free kick for a high? No, the umpire said, give it to me. A nice of...
He moved back. It's like he had the free kick there.
Well, he was looking for it. Card punches that forward. That's a proper thumping hit out. It's actually going to go towards the boundary line, but will stay in play. Troon tackles Campilio. It was nicely Mark Knapp was looking out for it because there are a couple of profanities that way there, but Mark's looking out for the boundary riders now.
He's great, Natty. He embraces VAFA media, and he loves it. No, but he's a very, very excitable man, Natty. That was a great three-quarter time huddle.
He would be. What a third term it's been from the Cardinals, and they've started this last quarter well too. Kick inside 50, the fat side of the ground, bounces fortuitously for Spencer, gets a hand pass away to Dixon, who's away, straight towards goal, and the finish doesn't match the bit of dare that he displayed. It's gone well wide. Out of bounds on the full, and of course we'll be on watch for handy point alert in his last term, but that is not going to be one of them. Mason Sazzoni with the kick in here for the Tunners to bring the ball back into play.
Need to see some movement from Brighton. They've been a bit stagnant last quarter, and they've unfortunately started this quarter the same way.
Offhand from Ag, who got front spot. Rode by Pryor. They move this one quickly up towards half forward. Oh, an awkward bounce there. Works out for Troon. Hits it away. And now they're okay here. Old Scotch, they'll go back inside 50. Tweedy and Spencer. It's been a good contest. Comes loose once again. And then Cork contending with...
That's a lasso.
That'll be a lasso because it's just snuck outside the 50-metre arc.
That bounced sideways to go out of bounds outside the 50.
So a bit of fortune for Scott. Short kick up towards the forward flanks. Mark taken by Henry Brown, who wheels and goes. Sets it from 50. It won't have the distance. It lands towards the top of the square. Comes off hands. Spencer looks to flick it back. He gathers it now. Hands it backwards once more. Good tackle by Lohan, and he gets the free kick for holding the ball. Good bit of defensive display there from Max Lohan.
Needs to find an option here, Lohan. They need to get moving, Brighton. They need to create options.
Short kick. Lohan had to Luca McNabb. It was interesting that Mark Nadd as well made special mention of Campbell Tweedy in his three-quarter time address. Got to keep him out of the game. Hope sends this long. Where's Flockhart? He'll fly! Oh, he brought it to ground though. Agroves, hand passes over the top. Goal coming up for Travers. Bang! Scores level here at Camberwell Sportsground. Luke Travers getting on the end of the goal. An anticlimactic finish because we were looking at mark of the year for a second there from Felix Flockhart. He's soared, but again he was involved. He's been involved in every single goal today, one way or another, Felix Flockhart. The match revolves around him. 8-6-54 to 8-6-54. TLC Healthcare scoreboard in this final term. And special comments to Hit IQ. Here's Hugo Higginbotham.
Yes, well, just the danger of Felix Flockhart. He never gets outmarked, Matty, and brings it to ground. Yep. And just the... It was an element of Scotch being very conscious of Felix Flockhart. Too many went to him to leave some free players, and Travers got on the end of it.
Carr
out of the ruck again.
Grabs it out of the ruck again, hands it over to Hope. They'll get the quick clearance up towards half forward. Doesn't go very far. The diving mark from Townsend cuts off the attack, and they look to go the other way. Barring comes out to meet it, beats Sazzoni to the football. Hands it away, looking to spin out of trouble. There is Brown. He's not going anywhere.
Ooh.
But the umpire says, give it to me. It'll be a stoppage. I thought there could have been claims for holding the ball there. Here you go.
Oh, I'm with you there, Matty. I think there might have been a prior opportunity.
There'll be a free kick here It'll go the way of the Cardinals, so they'll get it up towards centre-half forward. Bouncing ball inside, attacking 50. Clean hands required here. Tweedy's been excellent for the Tunners today. Fans the kick out wide. Seeger used the body well. Opened up a path for Pryor. Back to Seeger. Dixon pursuing him. Jackson swoops in. Gets the hand pass back. Once more now to Townsend, who had a fumble. And they closed the door. They were able to trap him. Hope with the tackle. Still in dispute. Now Pryor and Dixon once more. Carianis in there. Picks it up cleanly. Goes towards half forward. Clears the pack. Brady was there. The mark taken by Agate, half forward. Goes in short to the skipper. It's a skipper's moment, and Harry Hill marks inside 50.
That was good. There was some composure in chaos there, Matty, and Brighton were the beneficiaries. Found the loose, and probably one of the best kicks in the competition, Harry Hill. Distance may be a question, but you're back in. And this will be a great captain's goal.
Well, any score will give the Tunners the lead. Long way to go. Only 5.5 gone in this final term. But this requires a leader's moment. Harry Hill has only kicked 1 goal for the year. He strikes that beautifully. Right through. Oh, captain, my captain. Harry Hill delivers when they need him. And the Tunners take the lead. 9-6-60 plays 8-6-54 on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard. It's not been his biggest afternoon, Harry Hill, but when required, he delivers.
No, and that was work rate from Harry Hill as well, working up the ground. That's how he got loose at half forward there. But they did anything to hack the ball forward there, Brighton, and they got the ball moving. And they're much better when they're moving at pace. The slow play hasn't worked for them, especially on this ground. It's hard to find time and space, but if they get moving, they can extend this lead.
2 goals to none in this final term. It's definitely been the scoring end for the day. Carr tapped it to his own advantage. Here's Hope again. Clear, direct route to goal. Goes along to the goal square. It's gone all the way home. Jamie Hope from long range. What a massive bit of play there from the Tunners. First from Carr and then from Jamie Hope. Ran all the way. Kicked it from well outside 50. And they've gone bang, bang to start this final term, the Tunners. 10-6-66, 8-6-54 Old Scotch. 3 straight in this final term to nothing. And a goal of the day contender once more for the Auburn Hotel. A beauty from Jamie Hope.
Off the back of some amazing work by Jamie Carr. He's a very dangerous player.
All of a sudden the stoppage once again. Scotch have to respond, and they've got to respond in a hurry. Hope once more. In fact, that's been the last 2 clearances. Carter, Hope. The first one was a bit scrappy and only got the centre-half forward, but they had a cleaner route to goal that time. Dick caught in the tackle by Brown, and he gets the kick away, but not before the umpire calls for a stoppage. Well, the game has changed again, Hugo. You mentioned it's been a game of momentum swings.
And that's what we've just seen there. It started all with Scotch with all those entries, and then Brighton just off the back of some good work. And they're playing. There's Carr again.
Grabbed out of the ruck by Carr. The kick doesn't go very far. It goes wide and high. And it's punched towards the boundary line, and that's going to be insufficient intent. Yep. Only had one thing on his mind there. Tom Howden now has got it right in front of the interchange gates. And all of a sudden, the Cardinals on the back foot. Reigning premiers have flexed their muscle, Hugo.
Yeah, they have. He needs to find a short hit up here. Yeah, this is what you don't want to see. It just makes it too easy for the defenders.
Long down the line. Flockhart and Clark. Oh, Burnell going for something extraordinary. Now, is that...
Now it's off hands.
Deals for on the full, off hands. How to play. Would love to have known where that kick was going to end up.
Yeah. I don't think you're on your own there. I don't think anyone knows. But Scotch need to defend hard here. They can't afford to give another one away.
12 points up, Old Brighton. They've kicked the only 3 goals of this final term. Clark used the body well. Kick was smothered, though. He was looking for territory. Carianis is in there. So was Lean. Kick comes out now a couple of metres. Ag was caught. Now Seeger applying the tackle. Stoppage once more. Tell you what, the Skins player of the day, Hugo, the responsibility's on you. That's going to be quite the challenge, I would think. There's been some good standout performers from both teams.
There has, but there's been one man who was put in an extra... it might just be a quarter that gets him the Skins award.
Felix Flockhart has kicked 5, all coming in that second term. McMillan marks, or it might have been touched off the boot. He went straight away. Hands the hand pass across. Now McMillan gets it again, that time from Schilling. And there's a free kick
for a throw.
A throw or a hold? Maybe it might have been a hold for too long. Schilling to take the kick once more. He'll get another go. And he'll look to send this kick high up the line. Spencer in from the side. No mark taken. Lean was there. Jones feeds a hand pass across. Kick forward's going to favour the Tunners. Campeely.
So what we're seeing here, Matty, these Scotch guys are all rolling up to the contest, the Scotch forwards. Brighton defenders are holding, so on those chaos kicks out of the contest, they're the only ones at home.
And is that the advantage of having field position, that you can do that as a defensive team?
Yeah, they're just backing themselves in. They're backing the midfielders in to beat the extra numbers at the contest, and they're always there on the defensive side, and it gives them first look at the ball. It's the battle, whether do you go to the contest or do you pull out. They've got too many at the contest at the moment, Scotch.
So switch the play not once but twice, and then Tweedy with a long kick down the line looking for Carr. Couldn't complete the mark that time. Clark was there to spoil, and it's gone out of play for a boundary throw in. 12 points the lead still for the Tunners. 10.5 gone in this final term for TLC Healthcare.
He had a wardrobe malfunction, Josh Carr. He lost the boot.
Oh, we want to get that one sorted out, because he needs both hands to grab this one out of the ruck. Except it'll be Hamish Dick this time. He grabs it out of the ruck instead. His kick was smothered. They tell you what, they're learning off him pretty quickly. Kick up towards half forward, bouncing ball. Tweedy attacked it really well. Got away from Spencer. Beautiful kick up to Carr, who's got the boot back on now. Hands it over to Sazzoni, who was running past. Kicks up the line. Over the head there of Richardson. Townsend caught. Is there a free kick for holding the ball? There was. Carianis getting involved again is Michael Carianis. Kick inside 50. Beautiful pass. And old Brighton, well, they are looking every bit a reigning Premier side at the moment. Ollie Goodger in a bit of space inside 50 marks. And he can get in on the act now and extend the lead out to 18 points. He hasn't kicked a goal today as Ollie Goodger. In fact, he's only kicked one for the season. He'd dearly love to double his season tally here. Not much of an angle to speak of. He'll be kicking from about 30 metres out from goal. He splits the middle, Ollie Goodger. No mistake.
Well, that was off the back of some good work by Brighton, who have taken the advantage of this momentum swing that they got in the game. Because if you think, the first couple of entries, they were all Scotch, and the Scotch are unable to have any effect on those because of that extra rolling up to the contest where Brighton had the outnumber in the defensive half, and that's worked well for them today. They've backed themselves in, and with those momentum swings, I mean, you have to capitalise on those, and that's what Brighton's done really well. That second quarter, they had a massive momentum swing. Geez, they love that end of the ground too, man.
There's been 19 goals scored today. 17 of them have been kicked at that end of the ground. One to each side going the other way. And the Tunnels will win the clearance again. Burnell deep towards full forward. Comes off hands. Carianis, Schilling, Carianis. Pryor! Pryor swoops. Pryor sockers it through. And they can't be stopped at the moment, the Tunners. All of a sudden, it's a 24-point advantage. Nearly 13 gone in this last quarter. They have kicked 5 goals straight to nothing in this last quarter, Hugo.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that Mark Nats has addressed, is these lapses that the players tend to have. And it's not every player on the ground. It could be a few players who lapse that concentration of field position, give it away to the opposition, just give away an easy turnover, and you can't do that against a side like Brighton, who were looking to bounce back after last week. They would have had an amazing three-quarter time rev up too after giving away that lead, and then they've answered again. So it's been a nice little change up there as we see Felix Flockhart having a turn in the ruck.
Well, if Marcel Bruin does join us in the event old Brighton get up, that'll be one of the questions we'll have to ask him. What did you say, three-quarter time? There's a free kick out of the centre here, and it's going to go the way of the Cardinals, though, so they'll get a rare look inside attacking 50 in this final term, but the kick has gone straight to Quinton Montanaro. That's easy pickings in the defence for Montanaro, who's taken another intercept mark.
Yeah, it was great work by Campbell Tweedy to hold out Clark there as well.
Flockhart got hands to it. He couldn't complete the mark, though. Campili throws that one out to Flockhart, who shrugs a tackle nicely and gets a high kick up the line. Leaping early was Hope, who couldn't complete the chest mark. It's gone out for a boundary throw in.
No, so the game going into caretaker mode a little bit at the moment now, Matty. You've just got to think that Scotch need to get moving very quickly. And if you think of the lead that old Brighton gave up last week in the last quarter, that must be in Scotch's mind. So no lead's too big at the moment, you would think.
No, definitely not. So they won't want to rest in their laurels just yet. This game is not done. 24 points. Hamish Dick pushed over the line. If Old Brighton can kick 4 goals this quickly, it stands to reason Old Scotch should be able to do the same at home.
Oh, absolutely. There's still plenty of time to be played in this game. Probably about another 15 minutes to go. What do I say? You need 3 minutes comfortably for a goal. So they should win by a goal, Scotch, in that little logic, maybe.
Well, if it does play out that way, they'll get it done just in the nick of time. Ferguson front spot, although it comes out now to Lohan, who got it from Flockhart. Kick into the centre of the ground. Jackson gets a hand pass away to Simons. Now here's an opportunity. Looking for Spencer. Ball went over his head. He can gather it cleanly, but he's overrun it. And now the cavalry arrive for Old Brighton. And they've locked things up, and it'll be a stoppage inside 50 here for the Cardinals.
Well, that opportunity there, Scotch, but they'd be happy that they've got a stoppage in their forward 50 rather than the ball being exited very easily.
Clark that time. Campeely. Howden, and now Harry Hill. Kicked an important goal to start the final term. Over to Goodger. Goes down the line. Oh, courage required. And that's Dane Harvey who's down. Well, he's looked like he might have copped one in the ribs.
I think that was friendly fire.
Slowly, well. I think you're right.
They're already down one at the moment. There's been a 50 as well here. So that gives him a shot on goal. But I know Frenetic's already he's done. He's iced up the ankle.
For Author Sport Victoria, kick inside attacking. 50, Will Clark. Well, Campbell Tweedy's been excellent, but that is a mismatch if ever you've seen one. Well, Will Clark against most is going to be a mismatch.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. It's probably about a foot difference in height.
Yep, and several kilos. We don't weigh the players anymore, but I'm guessing I'm guessing they don't weigh the same.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
So Will Clark has kicked 2 today. He's been one of only 2 players to kick a goal at this end of the ground. They dearly love one here. To stem the bleeding and to keep the Cardinals in touch, Will Clark. He's got it. He's got 3, Will Clark. 9 for the season for him now. Retains his spot atop the leading goal-kicking charge for the Cardinals. He just keeps them in the hunt. This game's not done yet. 9-6-60 plays 12-6-78. The TLC Healthcare scoreboard in this final term. Old Brighton's principal partner. Think differently about aged care because they do.
No, so this game's been defined by momentum. So Scotch need to get the momentum going their way now. So they need to back this up. The last thing they want to do is lose this centre clearance. Now, got a lot of faith in Ferguson, I think it is, who's going into the ruck up against Felix Flockhart. So this will be an interesting one.
Yeah, I think Clark moving forward is an attempt to try and win the game.
Yes, definitely.
He's in the goal square against Tweedy still. Flockhart and Ferguson. Flockhart won the tap down that time. Not an effective tap out. Although Geordie Seeger bursts away. Kicks towards half forward. Oh, big fly over the top from Travers. Brought it to ground. Rode by Ag. Cuts inside. Hand pass to over the head of Hope, but he gathers it. The outside of the boot towards full forward. Harvey back on his feet, which is good to see. And he takes the intercept mark for the Cardinals. And he wastes no time. Harry Hill got hands to it on the back flank. No mark, though. And Troon with the tackle on Lohan locks things up. Nearly 18 gone here in this last term, and it's an 18-point lead. Now we'd say they've roughly got about 4 minutes to kick a goal here. Ferguson. Kick out in front of Simons, who gathers it and runs away and has a bounce. Looks to open things up. Oh, Cork did well. Anticipated it. But there's going to be... What's going on here? Is there going to be a free kick for a lasso or out on the full? The boundary umpire and the field umpire are having a conversation. Maybe it's come off the boot of Cork as he's tried to charge it down the hand pass.
I didn't pick up on that, but that's a win for Scotch.
It's my only guess. So they'll get the kick inside attacking 50, but it's only to the advantage of Felix Flockhart, who they've rolled behind the ball now.
He's in the ruck, the big fella. And with that mark, I think it's confirmed it, mate. I think he's going to be our skins player of the day.
He's been terrific today. The pioneers of compression, and Felix Flockhart was the pioneer of the comeback. 5 second-quarter goals. 5 second-quarter goals.
Amazing,
unbelievable. You don't see that too often at all. Lohan with the mark between wing and half-back for the Tunners.
Not many players kick 5 goals in a game, let alone a quarter.
Not many kick 5 in a season.
Yes.
Oh, Dane Harvey over the top has taken another nice mark. He's taken some beauties today. And there's some really good aerialists in that area of the ground, both defenders and attackers. Nick Baring is the target here at half forward for Scotch. Still 2 kicks from home. Will Clark is the deep target. He goes over the top to McNillan, who got a little nudge from McNabb. He wastes no time. He goes looking for Spencer. He judged that well. Angus Cork is furious with something, whether it's himself or the decision, whether you got a hand to it.
Well, Harry Hill's furious as well.
But the mark's been paid to Quinn Spencer, who's kicked 3. This may well be the pick of the bunch if he can drill it from here. It'll be on a tight angle, but he'll be kicking from about 40 metres out.
If he kicks this, Matty, that's 2.
And we'll be back to 2. On the left boot, Quinn Spencer, tucked up against the boundary line, and he's pushed it wide. His first blemish of the day. 3 goals, 1 for Quinn Spencer, but are we on handy point alert, Hugo Higginbotham?
I think we are, Matty.
3 goals now gives the Cardinals the lead. Luca McNabb with the kick in. I ideally love a 7-point play. He touches it on the ground. There we go. We haven't had that one today.
I don't see that anymore.
And he goes with a dangerous kick. Central, been turned over. Brown gets it. Now to Townsend. He can look to bring it across, but he instead goes centrally. Oh, the mark was dropped by Howden. Roved here, but it was smothered. Getting the kick away nearly was Jap, and then Hill goes up the line, looking for Pryor, hands it over to Ag. Can he go back to Pryor? Instead he hands it inboard to Felix Flockhart. Too far out to score, he's on the wing. Now he goes to Ag again. High kick up towards half forward. Who's going to fly? Oh, it came off hands. Oh, it's going to be won there by Townsend, but he was tripped by Richardson inadvertently, and he's going to be penalised for holding the ball.
Good grief.
Oh, it's all happening here.
Yes.
Drop marks, smothers, trips, free kicks.
It's just the frenetic nature of the game.
And it will result in Old Brighton getting a look at goal. And it's going to come off the boot, the kick here of Jamie Hope, who's already kicked a stellar goal in this final term. If he can kick this, he puts the margin out to 23 points. We've ticked into time on. Jamie Hope comes in, he's hooked it, and he's let them off. 1 goal, 3 for Jamie Hope this afternoon. And that handy point alert, well, that's done now.
It's out the window.
It's gone for now. 12-7-79 plays 9-7-61 on the TLC Healthcare scoreboard.
Well, there's plenty of time left in this game, Matty. And there's that little concern about last week for Brighton, so they'll be looking to maintain this.
Lohan steps inside. Carr. Cork. Goes with the hand pass in board. Clark was there. Although it's Harry Hill. His hand pass was charged down. Barring overran it. And then trying to burst through was Easton. Was he caught? Yes. Umpire said play on. Cork with a kick up the line. Must have been smothered. Travers snapped it in one motion up towards half forward. Ag was the target. Come off hands on. That's out. It's out the full or a lasso. That was very strange from Ryan Ag. It's almost as if he thought the ball had gone out of bounds already, but the free kick here for Jack Brown. He goes to Harvey. They're as far away from goal as possible. They need this at the other end of the ground. Brady marks it half back, draws the man, hands it over the top to Dixon, and then one more. They've got this on the wing now. Kick up towards, well, it was looking for Lean, knocked away by George Hill, still with Lean. Spencer hands it out of play. Whistle. I think it's just a boundary throw in here between wing and half forward for the Cardinals.
It's just been execution at some moments in the game today from the Cardinals where they were out then, just that little errant kick that just didn't quite get to advantage, and it's caused this stoppage.
Clark back in the ruck against Carr. Clark slaps it back, but only as far as Hamish Dick, who goes up towards centre half forward. Well-judged mark taken by Ryan Walsh. Wastes no time. Gives the hand pass across. The kick looking for Jackson up the line, who's got it. Still 2 kicks away from goal. Going to wheel and go. Going to go long towards Clark. It's all or nothing. Clark brings it to ground. It's come off hands. The numbers favour the Tunners. Tweedy. Wait until the last second to delay the hand pass. Troon, he was looking for Barring. Comes back to Sazzoni. Gets the hand pass away to McNabb. Wants to go inboard. Spins around. Howden now steps inside and then goes with the right boot. Up the line. Over the head of Flockhart. And Harvey, good. Second grab. Good slips catch from Harvey. He and Flockhart have been the aerialists of the day. Sends this one back inside 50. The numbers favour Lohan, although he's dropped the mark. Barring at ground level, contending with Hamish Dick. Oh, he waited for Clark, he waited for Barring. Ooh. And Howden took down Barring. Harry Hill rose. Burnell, his hand pass was cut off. Chance here for the Cardinals. Kick inside 50's fallen short. Cork was there. Hand pass back now to Tweedy at fullback. Wants to go with a kick up towards the back flank. Beautiful pass. Mark taken on the chest there by Travers, who wanted to move it quickly, but in the end decided better of it. I'll try and take some time off the clock here.
That was your moment there in the game, Matty. Just looking to pass instead of charging into goal and nailing that themselves.
Down the line, Townsend again to switch the play. Troon. I'll switch it again. Simons, free kick. Front on contact against Goodger.
But a smart free kick gives them a chance to get behind the ball and set up Brighton.
Back to Harvey. This sideways stuff is not going to get them back into the game. Kick up to Walsh now on the wing. Oh, and he clever little kick. Changed his mind at the last minute. Found Townsend in space. Goes long looking for Clark. Got to beat a couple. Low hand with authority. Punches it out of play. Boundary throw in the left forward pocket here for the Cardinals. And we approach now 25 and a half gone in this final term. They're going to want to get back into this game. They've got to get a goal out of this contest here.
Absolutely. They need to get attacking here. They need to get moving through the contest. Can't be flat-footed.
Clark doing the ruck against Carr. Both got a tap to it. Sazzoni punches it back. Here's Jones. Here's his moment. He might have been taken high. The umpire waved play on. Hand pass comes out now to Brown. Goes high towards full forward. Tweedy in best position. And Flockhart at one end, Tweedy at the other. They've been excellent in the posts today.
That's the example of Tweedy just holding his nerve and holding back behind the ball when everyone going to the contest. Uncontested marks. Been the scourge for Scotch today.
Kick up towards the wing.
Felix Flockhart.
Flockhart again. Well, he got hands to it. So did Harvey, according to the umpire. Wave play on. Lean goes with a hand pass to Dixon. Straightens. Goes towards goal. Once again. Guess who's sitting on the goal line on his own? Campbell Tweedy saves the day. Well, you could make an argument that Felix Flockhart's won the match and Campbell Tweedy saved it.
Yeah, correct. They can share the hat. They're going to have 3 days, 1 week, 4 days the next week.
Yeah, I only brought one.
Yeah. I think Felix has got that one.
Now Howden on the back flank. And this is going to move Old Brighton to 4-1 to start the season. They'll maintain top spot on the Premier Men's ladder, 5 games in. And for Old Scotch, this will be their 4th defeat in a row, and they'll sit at 1-4. Long down the line, off hands. Carianis was there. Hands it over to Pryor. Oh, it just wasn't set up right for Carianis. Pryor had to follow up. Pressure by Schilling. Brown. On Schilling, they run into each other in the end. Carianis still going. Taken in a tackle by Easton. Brady is there. So is Walsh. So is Carianis. He just won't give up, Michael Carianis. And eventually, the umpire calls for a stoppage. It's all the way inside attacking 50 now for the Tunners.
Yeah, they've done well there, the Tunners. They've sort of consolidated and they've gone into a little bit of caretaker mode. They're not taking too many risks, maintaining possession while still edging the ball forward.
So it'll be Clark and Flockhart here to do the ruck work. Brown. Out to Lean. Carr in good position here. Didn't judge it very well in the end. Simons trying to crash through. Hand pass comes out there with Simons once again. Townsend spins out of trouble. Free kick. Advantage being played here for Scotch. Kick to no one. The ball might actually stop here before anyone gets to it. Tweedy picks it up just in time. And then good inventive work by Harry Hill to duck under the kick. Clark turns spoil inside attacking 50 here for the Tunners. And then he's caught in the tackle and we'll get another stoppage inside 50.
So Campbell Tweedy again. That was just amazing the way he read the ball, came off his player. He's had an excellent game. And he's been a rock down there. Been an absolute rock in defence.
And there'll be another stoppage here. Clark flicks it back. Rode by Harry Hill. Runs to 50. Drives it towards the top of the goal square. Flockhart. Oh! He could see the number 6 in headlights. And he looks up to the heavens in dismay as the ball is knocked away from his grasp, through for a minor score. But that's another handy point alert. It's now a 19-point ball game for the Tunners. 12-8 played, 9-7, 28 gone in this final quarter. The Scotch look to move it quickly. Townsend's got it on the wing now. Goes with a kick in board to Clark. And he'll get 50 metres here.
All right.
A bit of movement on the mark from Ryan Agg, and Will Clark. Well, we'll firstly see how close he is brought into goal and how much of a sure thing this is. You would back him regardless of the distance.
You would. He's been a shining light for the Cardinals today. In Clarkey.
He's kicked 3. And there's the siren for full time. So it's all about the margin now. Will Clark trots in from 25 metres out. He's pushed it wide. It's a behind to wrap things up. But the siren sounds and the curtain closes on a big win for Old Brighton on the road. The reigning premiers show that they are still the team to beat in 2026. They trailed at three-quarter time, but Marcel Bruin's men found a way when it mattered most. They stormed home to kick 5 goals to 1 in the final term to take out the win, 12-8-80 to 9-8-62, an 18-point win to the Tunners, who go back to winning ways.
It was a great win there, Matty, by the Tunners. We're just making our way out to find Felix Flockhart, the Skins player of the day. He's doing his best to a baby at the moment. But a good answer by the Tunners after last week, and they were really pressed today. So that was an impressive comeback, that first 7 or 8 minutes to get control of the game again, get on the scoreboard, and it was a great win.
At quarter time, it was Old Scotch who led 2-2-14 to Old Brighton, 3 behinds. The Tunners flipped the script in the second term. They led 6-6-42 to 3-2-20 at the main break. And then the Cardinals did the same thing to the Tunners there in the third term. They led 8-6-54 to 7-6-48 at three-quarter time, a 5-goal-to-1 third term. But then it was a devastating final start of the final term for Old Brighton. They kicked 5 goals to 1 to take it out, 12-8-80 to 9-8-62. And Hugo, you have got the player of the match, the Skins player of the match, Felix Flockhart, with you now.
I certainly have, Matty. Felix Flockhart, Skins player of the game. Talk us through that second quarter, mate. You were really pressed by the Scotchies, and then everything seemed to go your way.
Yeah, can I hold? Yeah. I know they sort of jumped us the first quarter, and then come the second. I mean, there was a little bit of a win, so we're mindful of that, and it was just one of those days. Everything went my way. I don't know what happened. It just, everything stuck. The boys were hitting their kicks. I got 3 on the lead quite nicely. Had a nice tick-back lead, and the ball just couldn't leave my hands. It was. I don't know if that'll happen again, but I'll take it.
Excellent. Now, let's just talk about the 1-2 combo of you and Josh Carr, because it gives you that time to roll forward. You must be enjoying playing with him.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I lost my brother Sam last year to an ACL, so it's nice to get a chop out, for certainly, because I love when I can go down forward, especially when you're having a good day and you're taking a few marks. So we all love Kari. He's just so raw and athletic, and he just gives everything, and that's all we can ask for.
No, great work. We'll get a photo for you for socials, and then you can go back and get the fines with the boys. But great win. Up to you, Matty.
All right, thank you for that, Hugo, and congratulations to Felix Flockhart, our Skins player of the match, the pioneers of compression. He kicked 5 goals, all of them in the second term, and really got the game back on Old Brighton's terms, helped them build that 22-point lead at half-time. The Cardinals plucked it back, as we said. They kicked 5 goals, 4 to 1 straight in the third term to give themselves a 6-point lead at three-quarter time. But in the end, they were too good, the reigning premiers. 12-8-80 to 9-8-62, an 18-point lead, and they go to 4-1 to Old Brighton. And for Old Scotch, they now languish at 1-4 on the table. We're in our post-match show now as things stand. And the post-match is brought to you by the Brighton Beach Hotel, the best pub in Bayside to watch football with friends. It was an absolutely wonderful spot to be. And, you can see the applause now is for Old Brighton's women's side, who are making their way out onto the ground. A guard of honour being formed by the men's side, which is always a good thing to see. Hopefully we get to speak with Marcel Bruin, the coach of Old Brighton, very, very shortly. But as we get into our post-game show, we'll go through our categories, of course. We'll start with the mark of the day for Hodges Real Estate. Hugo, there were some beauties today.
There was. I like Felix Flockhart's mark early, but I think that screamer from Dane Harvey, that was outstanding.
Yeah, no, that was a very good mark. They were the two, weren't they? The two aerialists, and Campbell Tweedy as well. A cumulative mark of the day, dominant performance in the air. But Dane Harvey's big leap over the top for Hodges Real Estate. Proud sponsor of Old Brighton for over 30 years. If you are buying or selling in the area, speak to Hodges director and Tana's past player, Angus Graham. That's where to go. The goal of the day for the Auburn Hotel.
Oh, it was a little bit harder today, Matty, but I think for the all-round performance, it's got to go to Michael Karayanis for going to the crowd, running along the boundary line, and he was given donuts. There was no one at home. So that's he had to give high fives to the fence. So he gets that for the celebration and for being completely fresh-aired by the crowd.
We needed the camera right there to pick it up alongside. The other one that I've got to make mention of that I jotted down here, James Hope out of the centre in the last term. Good combination between he and Carr. Ran to 50 and just drove it all the way home from beyond the arc. It was a great finish at an important time.
And I was going to say, in the context of the game as well, when they needed that, it was very important. So, no, that was a great one too.
Old Scotch members can get a 10% discount on food and drinks via the Parts app. That's at the Auburn Hotel. So that's our goal of the day contender. Around the grounds for Bendigo Bank, Canterbury, Ashburton, Surrey Hills and Baldwin. Now, Hugo, have you got those scores for us?
Yes,
we'll start with Premier Men's.
Coming up, Matty. So,
owned by go on.
Sorry.
Owned by the local community and delivering all your personal and business banking needs. Profits go back into the community, including Old Scotch's electronic scoreboard, which is looking outstanding, by the way. It's always a great thing to have at these grounds. And the goal nets too.
Yeah, it's very good. No, so if Simon Petch ever gets a bank account, he will go with Bendigo, but he's still putting it under the mattress at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So he sleeps up near the ceiling. That's how much he's got under the mattress too. No, but around the grounds, so we've got out there at Melbourne Uni Oval, Old Zavs 13,987. Looks like they're going to get up over the Blues, 9,15,69. So we know the score here. And at Glen Huntly Park, so we've got St Kevin's 12-13-85 up over Caulfield Grammarians 8-16-64. I was looking at that again. Bad goal kicking today. And Uni Blacks 12-13-85 over St Bernard's 9-6-60. And the close one looks like Trinity 10-9-69 to Haileybury 7-9-51. So everything, I was happy with that, Paddy. Geez, you're focused on this tipping contest. You do need to lift. You need to lift, mate. You need to get back in the game.
Well, you know what? I'd say if the T's get up from here, I've closed the gap to 7 on Brighton May because we've tipped every other matchup exactly this. Yes, 7 behind after round 5. Not a great start, but I'm pretty happy that I made some sort of ground on him.
And the T's have won. It's just gone to full time there. So you've got that one, Matty. Well done.
Yes,
you got one
beauty.
back.
1 down, 7 to go.
Yeah, correct.
Prem B scores at the moment for those who are keen. Collegians over Old Ivanhoe. Big win again for Geordie McKenzie's men. They certainly look like the team to beat. 17,709 to 8,755. Beaumaris making a bit of a comeback here against, they did make a bit of a comeback late. They kicked 4-5 to 1 behind in the last term. But DLR just held on 14-6-90 to 11-16-82. So some wayward goal kicking cost there.
I know that ground pretty well. So that is always wind affected. On the stillest days, it's like Brighton Beach Oval. There's always a wind going one way. So I would imagine that Bowie were going home with the breeze. So that's what that would have affected there.
Yeah, and 12-2 in the first half for DLR. So they will make that. That seems to be the difference there.
Yeah.
At Elstonwick Park, the game looks like it's not too far away from finishing. 31 minutes gone in the final term. Old Melburnians 13-9-87 over Old Geelong 11-8-74. So a 13-point lead there to the OMs, and you would think they're just about safe if it's 31 minutes gone, barring any significant sort of stoppages. At the Gary Smorgon Oval, the Jackers, Ajax, look like they're on track for a big win over Williamstown CYMS, 14-8-92 to 7-13-55. This has been a great story for Lockie Buzzard and his men. That's win number 3, I think, now for the season after 5 games. So that's coming up from Prem C, finishing 4th in that last season, going the long way to the grand final. So that's been a great start to the season for them. And then at Carey Sports Complex in Bulleen at Dunshea Oval, Old Carey was, of course, again, looking likely winners here against Old Camberwell. 22 gone in the final term, 13-12-90 to 7-6-48 in favour of the Panthers. So I'm going to get 4 out of 5 there. The only one I didn't get was Ajax and Williamstown, but Braden tipped them too. So
there you go. So it's a net win for you there.
Net win,
so you haven't gone backwards anyway.
No, but the only one that mattered was Old Trinity. And as long as I got that one as long as I got that one with Old Trinity, I would have been fine. So
if you keep doing that every week, you might get yourself back in the contest.
Just copy him and just go with one different.
Copy. That's how you did your homework and your schoolwork.
Yes, but just don't tell my teachers that.
Yeah, you would have got in trouble for copying their name as well when you wrote on the top of your test.
Two Tom Smiths on the
Yeah,
bus, I don't think
correct.
so. The ladder for Author Sport Victoria, a Melbourne-based team of experienced orthopaedic surgeons helping you get back to life. Hugo, if you've got that for us.
I'm just waiting for it to update, Matty. Obviously, still have not got that, but we can probably figure out. Brighton will let's go on 5 wins. 4 wins out of 5. Zads will stay there. Blues will probably go back because Trinity will get in front of them and St Kevin's will go up. And the bottom will virtually stay the same. So the only change there will be Trinity will go in front of the Blues and St Kevin's and the Blues will be on the same.
What a great story that is for Old Trinity. 5 games into the season, they're sitting 4-1 in the top 4.
And I know they had a few players move on post-season last year. I think the few players, I can't remember who it was. And I know Boston Dowling's been playing a lot of VFL and he's a great player for them. So, you know, it's hard to come up and consolidate, let alone hard to come up and to get ahead of the pack, which they're doing. Important wins, early wins are very important in this competition. Sets you up for later in the season. So it's a great competition we've got at the moment, and Old Scotch, you know, I think that's the news story, isn't it? To be 1-4 at this stage of the season. They've played in moments, but they probably haven't strung games. They've probably haven't got a game to go on their terms for a majority of the time, and it's starting to affect.
Yeah, I mean, only outside. They came into today ahead of the relegation zone only on percentage. Again, long way to go, but they haven't made any ground on that front. They won't fall into the bottom 2 today based on the results of other matches, but they're still just hovering. It's a long way to go, but it's not the place you want to be in 5 games into the campaign.
Not at all. I mean, it gets harder and tighter as the season goes on. It looks like they'll get another longish term injury with Aidan Frenetic because that ankle blew right up with a decent bag of ice he had strapped to that, which is not good. So the pressure's building there.
And he's an important player as well. He got a lot of the ball today. Yes. He's just sort of one of those who he's got a big body, just crashes in and just gets it forward. And you need those types of players as well.
Well, he wasn't out there for the last quarter. So that becomes telling, Matty.
Yeah. I think his absence was felt in that last quarter because there were a lot of sort of 50-50 contests where it felt like it was going to be a really pivotal, or the winner was going to be a really pivotal in terms of how the rest of the game unfolded from there. And just too often in the final term, Old Brighton won those 50-50s when it mattered most.
Yeah, they did. They had bad patches as well, don't get me wrong. I mean, they gave up another big lead, but they were able to wrestle that back. So that's something they need to look at and work out what mechanism they need to bring in place when they can see that lead diminishing and when to pull that trigger. It's whether you go an extra at the contest and extra behind the ball just to get some form of momentum swing again, and then you need to know when to take that off as well. Because if you go too defensive for too long, you're just getting closer to another score for the opposition. It makes it too hard to score, as we saw with Scotch today when they got extra up to the contest. On those entries, they just didn't have anyone at home. And Tweedy was excellent down there today. So, no, it's interesting. So, but they were very good when they needed to be today, Brighton. And obviously, you know, a quarter like Felix Flockhart had, that was set them up for a game. But they, you know, it's good to consolidate with a win after a loss, especially in a game like this, regardless of ladder positions, where you know how good Scotch can be. But they're just struggling to find that good at the moment.
Yeah, no.
And consistent good. Consistency is the word I was just looking for. They're lacking consistency.
Because they are better than a 1-4 side.
Absolutely.
They don't feel like that. Certainly the way that they've played at times. They don't come across as someone that you think is going to be, you know, trying to stave off the relegation wolves.
No.
So they're going to, regardless of where they sit on the ladder and what their win-loss record is, they are going to make it earn their wins.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely. Look, they'd be happy today that they didn't concede 120 points, so that's a tick.
Yeah.
So they were able to consolidate there. It was very interesting with Frenetic off in that last quarter, whether that had any impact on the game. I think it did, you know, because he's very, as you said, very important player to them. Bit of a rock down there. And they lost some bad clearances today. Some really bad clearances. Like Carr was able to run it out of that midfield and have effect. Remember that one where Carr took it out of the ruck and kicked it to the advantage of Flockhart?
Well, that was the one that got things really going for Old Brighton because they hadn't kicked a goal up till that point. They were goalless for an entire quarter. And then that one bit of play and then it just all changed.
Correct. And then that was that momentum that Scotch couldn't arrest. It was only about 8 or 10 minutes as well. And the game was just opened up right there. But look, positive signs in terms of how they were able to get the lead again and come back from that considerable margin, but just the it's a bit of a... Their good's really good, and their not so good is very not so good.
Yeah, it's a bit of Jekyll and Hyde
Yes.
in the way that they do play.
And it's those moments as well. Like, it's consistent moments that the lapses are occurring, and it's just making it hard for the rest of the team.
Yeah. No, so, and for old Brighton, again, we know that they were second best last week, even though they led for the majority of the match.
Yep.
Probably got the right result in terms of Uni Blacks winning at Brighton Beach Oval, but they're still the team to beat.
I think they are. I think on the back of that performance today, I mean, geez, we'll have to have a look at what games are coming up next week, Matty, but you still look at that side. No, there's been some changing of the guard. They've got some very good players in there. You see Harry Hill, Geordie Seager, great ball users, Ben Pryors, fantastic. Really impressed with Campbell Tweedy today. So, look, and you can't... Felix Flockhart, the Skins player of the match. Very important player to them. Felix Flockhart didn't play last week. So you think to yourself, if Felix Flockhart played, do they win that game? Probably, I would say. So, but anyway, it's a long season, but we've got an exciting season at the moment, Matty. It's shaping up nicely.
No, it is. It's going to be a terrific campaign with three teams sitting at 4-1, and we've got a bit of a logjam at the bottom end of the table. I often think back to last year. You touched on it earlier, and this is applicable across all the sort of divisions, banking early wins.
Yes.
Collegians were relegated last year with 6 wins. That's
6.5.
6.5 wins, my apologies. 6.5 wins they
and
went down with.
And a percentage of
last
96.
week. Yeah, that's quite unbelievable. That
It
sort
is.
of goes to show the evenness of the competition. But for teams like Old Trinity and in Prem B, Ajax as well, who were probably one of the teams who would have been likely to go straight back down, having both been promoted last year, to have so many wins on the board early, it means that you're not playing a case like 4 or 5 Southern Death finals at the back end of the year. You're building that buffer early. You're getting those wins on the board, and particularly close wins as well. If you can just get up in those really close ones, it saves you a lot of pressure and a lot of stress come the end of the campaign.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, we talk about Collegians getting relegated, but I think 5 of their games were lost by single-figure margins. So that's your future in your own hands there. You have to be winning the close ones.
Well, that's where the percentage of 95 comes from. They're just losing a lot of their games.
Yes. Well, we've got a real litmus test next week, just looking at the future games. Well, it's the one we want. It's Old Brighton versus Trinity. So we're going to know exactly where Trinity is at 5 o'clock next Saturday. So if they can pull off a victory there, because Brighton, you know, we saw today, they have lapses, they have moments as well, and after the week before, they're probably not in the greatest form at the moment, which is fine. You can be like that this time of year. But I think, you know, that'll be a really good test for both teams. And that's at Brighton Beach Oval as well.
Yeah, I think I flagged that one a couple of weeks ago, saying that's one I'm really looking forward to. Not necessarily because I think Old Trinity can go down there and win, but because as you said, it's going to give us a great idea on exactly where they sit in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. So, and then we've got another great one next week. St Kevin's playing Scotch. So that's, you know, St Kevin's are in really good form at the moment. We've called a few of their games this year. They were beaten by Old Brighton, but only after one bad quarter. So that could have Scotch sitting at 1-5 next week if they don't get up over that one. So you've got some great games coming up. I think we've got Haileybury Blues. That'll be another good one. And Blacks and Caulfield and Zavs are playing the Snow Dogs at Toorak Park. I think we might be for that.
I think that's going to be it's going to be us. Yeah.
I hope it absolutely buckets down and freezing because we've got one of the best commentary boxes
we've got an actual
commentary
box. Yeah, no, we don't mind if the weather is ordinary next week.
Correct.
That is going to be SEN's match of the day next week. Odds of Arians against St Bernard's at Toorak Park, 1:45 p.m. on the SEN app and streaming on VAFA TV. And I think with Marcel Bruin is not too far away, the winning coach of Old Scotch. We've got to stay until 5, don't we, Bruce? Yeah, we've got to stay until 5. So we'll see if Marcel wants to stay around for 13 minutes and 30 seconds. In fact, no, he's going to. He sold us a fast one, Marcel Bruin. Oh, in any case.
Yeah, he's heading down to the bar. He's doing the duties we have to go and talk to the opposition. So,
okay, no, that's fair enough.
No, but look, you know, they'd be happy with that win. There'd be some things they can go back to again. And then for Scotch, you really have to go back, and that's another one that you're going to have to break down in those moments. Yeah. You look at the lead they had, the way they were able to bring back that deficit, there's some great signs there. But just not to be able to sustain it, and then to once again have that patch in the last quarter where they not only let Brighton get back in front, but then they let them get to a match-winning lead without being able to arrest that.
So I'm curious with the first quarter, should they have done more damage there? Because they kept old Brighton scores. We didn't really sort of consider it at the time that they should have put on a bigger lead. 2 goals to none.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the rest of the quarters where the team on top dominated, old Brighton kicked 6 goals, and then old Scotch kicked 5 in the third, and then old Brighton kicked 5 in the last.
Yeah, look, first quarters are always really hard because every side's sounding each other out. It's a lot more contested ball. No one's willing to take the game on as much. So they've capitalised a little bit more, probably. But, it's just the nature of the game. It doesn't open up till after quarter time generally. So, but it was sort of match defining that far end of the ground, the Bowls Club end. It's just the scoring end at this place for some reason.
Yeah,
the big ball magnet down between the sticks.
It was. So we had, I think it was 3 goals kicked to this end of the ground.
Correct.
All day. We had 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth.
Yeah, you don't see too many deep entries to this the grandstand end of the ground for some reason. It falls up at half forward, so it's easy to defend for some reason. And this ground's virtually a circle, so it's it's interesting, but it's getting tougher for the Scotchies now.
Yeah, because if they do fall next week, we're a third of the way through the season.
Yep.
With a 1-5 record, and I wonder what point, and probably every club and every person will have a different opinion on this. But when do you start looking at the ladder? I mean, in terms of where you sit and what you've got to come. And not just for Old Scotch, but there'll be teams who are looking at it for finals and double chances as well. At what point do you start looking at that?
You're always looking at it. You're always looking at it. You can't help but look at it.
Yeah.
You're looking at when you're playing the sides around you, you break it down into probably small blocks, whether they're 3-game blocks, 4-game blocks, and you'd be marking each game down and saying, right, who have we got? Who do we need to beat? Which are the games where are we going to struggle in? I mean, there's no easy games in this competition. There's every game can be won by any team on the day. So you just need to make the most of your opportunities, and it's consistency. It's staying in the game for longer than the opposition, having the ability to slow down the opposition on their momentums, which is what defined the game today. Either side was sort of unable to stop the other side's momentum in short term, so that's why we saw blocks of 4 or 5 goals being kicked. Yeah. So it was an interesting one. It's a tough one, but each week you're closer to another goal, to another win. I mean, you go back to training and you look and you say, right, what do we need to work on? How do we need to improve? What are the areas we mainly need to improve? I thought Scotch's forward line defensive pressure was good at stages today, but too many intercept marks in the forward line, too many uncontested marks in the forward line. So, and we've got a special guest.
We've got him here. And he's brought refreshments.
You're going to have to jump on for 2 minutes. Yeah, you're contractually obliged. No, we'll be quick. We've got Marcel Bruin here, the victorious coach of Old Brighton, and Soupy, there was a bit of a game of momentum swings today. You're becoming an expert at this. Media Street?
Yeah, it's exactly... Hang on. There we go.
Yes.
That's all we needed.
Yes, a can of Pepsi.
No, it was definitely... there was some significant momentum swings throughout the game, wasn't there?
And sustained momentum periods as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We wasn't our best.
Yeah.
Obviously, the second quarter, they certainly were able, or our group was certainly able to arrest that momentum from the first quarter and start to swing it our way with better ball movement. Felix went forward and did a great job. I'm sure you've already spoken about him. Our defenders were forced to really, really defend hard throughout the course of the day, which is not necessarily how we wanted that to play out. So Tweeds did an unbelievable job down back, holding up. Gave us great control down there from time to time, which was often how we were able to swing that momentum, try and get some ball out. Back inside, at times our skills weren't great.
Yeah, tough ground to play it to, this one. For some reason, it's there's a magnet between the goals at that end of the ground compared to this end. Seems to be a lot more shallow entries up here, easier to defend at this end of the ground. Yeah. But you made the most of your opportunities.
Yeah, we certainly did. Again, it seemed like just getting some decent deep ball in was really impactful. And they would, those shallow entries are obviously where Scotch do such a great job of being able to fold off, higher half forwards and get that support up in the aerial contest. So if you go down the line, which we obviously did a lot today, and that they were able to get that aerial support across and block guys that were trying to get up and compete. They just do that so effectively. So we're genuinely trying to shift the ball offline, and at times we were doing it, but again, butchering the ball and giving it back and obviously opening ourselves up. So it's a bit of a, you either try and create numbers and get down the line, or you try and shift the game, open it up, which is what we wanted to do to generate score, and you sort of open yourself up a little bit that way if you're not effective with the ball use. So, yeah, it was a little bit of two-part game for us. When it worked really well.
I thought your defenders were really brave today to let the Scotch forwards roll back up to the contest and hold their position deep.
Yep.
And that was probably match defining, especially Tweedy with the amount of sort of intercept marks that he took by being brave and holding back and not going with them to the contest.
Yeah, we've worked a lot on trying to create an advantage, with our back six, and you often get that when the ball's inside our forward 50, where you're able to roll up and get that +1 or sometimes +2 to be able to give it a bit of support. But yeah, he made really, really good decisions, and I thought Angus Cork's job on Harvey, who's a real talent, was really good, and then he generated a bit of offence for us as well when he was able to come off and push himself forward. We just, again, probably, ball use in between the arcs was what let us down a little bit, yeah.
Here with Old Brighton coach Marcel Bruin, his team has just secured an 18-point victory, and they go to 4-1 and maintain top spot on the Premier Men's table, 5 games. And Marcel, we didn't get your huddle at three-quarter time, but you're on the back foot, trailing Old Scotch had a terrific third term. What did you say to the boys at three-quarter time?
Well, after the game, I thought that was obviously handed over the credit to the boys, because they were able to arrest that momentum really, really quickly, snap back into gear. It's amazing what that does for your mindset when you're obviously kicking with a slight breeze. It was a bit swirly, but there's a definite advantage going down towards that scoreboard end. We needed to get the contest stuff right, which I think I was a broken record throughout the day, making sure that we had those, the even numbers inside, and then we were holding decent shape on the outside so that we were able to chain handball or obviously get that ball to the outside to be able to execute with our forwards hunting up. So we had a really, good idea around trying to lower our eyes, use those forwards that were hitting up to try and get those deeper entries. Again, we obviously had Felix, who's a really good advantage with his height, his ability to catch a ball, and obviously was able to finish really, really well today. But we had to get that right in between the arcs, particularly.
Well, the other one, we've talked a lot about Felix, the synergy between he and Josh Carr, and they look like they've played about 100 games together. They combined on a number of occasions to great effect. So having that chemistry between your two big fellas must be a really positive thing for you and your group.
Joshy's done an amazing job. Was one out for the last couple of weeks, and again, he's still under 19s eligible. So he's certainly doing an amazing job against really experienced opposition players and experienced rucks. And when you've got someone who competes, it gives you just that ability to either have impact or gain an advantage, and he does that. His follow-up work's really impressive. He loves getting down in the mud and trying to tackle and help out the smaller guys trying to get to the outside. Really, no, he does a fantastic job, and we'll keep trying to educate him and teach him how he can become even more impactful. Obviously, outside of the stoppage as well, where he can use his athleticism to help us aerially and get him behind the ball, and then he, work his way up the ground to hopefully become a pinch hit forward from time to time as well. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to his numbers coming out on Monday. I want to see how many clearances, because I think I counted about 7 today where he took the ball out of the ruck, and there was an amazing one where he took it out of the ruck, kicked to Felix's advantage, and was shot on goal. Matty and I spoke about that. Sort of started that momentum swing your way.
100%. Yeah, so, I'm super impressed again with a young guy who's played a little bit of under 19s football, where they get that rush of blood coming out of the middle, and often it's just dumped out of contest, which plays into a team like Scotch's defence and plays into their hands. But he was often looking for that outside run. He was looking to release the ball by hands, which he does really, really well. So, he's been super impressive, and he's just willing to learn. And all we ever really ask for him is just get in there, compete, and try and give us an advantage.
And the other, also, so the other one I noted today, Geordie Seager, feels like he's taken a bit more of a responsibility through the midfield. He had a real impact in there today for you.
He was super. He's been building his game. His game's been getting better every week, and when he gets his balance right in terms of that inside mid work and the grunt work, and then he's able to get to the outside. He's such a powerful runner. He's super fit, uses the ball really, really well, makes good decisions most of the time, which you want from a mid. So, his game's been getting better and better every week, and when he hits his straps, he's going to be a seriously good mid against a lot of quality mids in our competition as well. Yeah.
Jamie Hope was very good today too.
Yeah, it was, again,
hitting the scoreboard as
we
well.
missed him through the early stages of the year, and it's been nice to welcome him back the last couple of weeks. And again, he's missed 5 months worth of football, so didn't do a huge amount of pre-season in terms of contact, and was able to build his run and his lungs up through just over the side when we were doing our work. But again, another really, really talented player.
An important part for you as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. We love him ahead of the football, but when you can give him that opportunity to go inside, he's just got that knack to get hands to ball and reads it off hands really, really effectively. Probably that benefit of playing forward where you've got to read it as a small and get to drop a ball and different things like that. So give him a change up. I mean, we talk about it a lot. He gets tagged because he's a forward, so he's got someone with him nearly all the time. So if he gets an opportunity to find a little bit of space, has to do some work in the stoppage, but can get to the outside and use his run and his smarts and get in behind the defences and often make him a little bit more offensive as well out of stoppage. He's a good option and opportunity for us to introduce.
No, very good. So a great consolidating win today after last week, especially when once again conceded a lead, which probably I know you'll put a bit of work into and how and where and why those things happen, but to come away with a good win like that and build a bit of momentum moving into next week, which is looking like a very interesting clash. Trinity at home for you blokes.
Yeah, well, they're playing outstanding football, young group, super quick. Was the most noticeable thing. They've played a couple of sides that we've then played. We're going to have to put a little bit of time into them, and obviously Donald's doing a great job with bringing those guys up. You never quite know what that jump from B grade to A grade is going to be, but they look like they've done it really seamlessly, so it's going to be a cracking game.
Well, Marcel, we'll let you go enjoy that can of Pepsi and celebrate. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, gents. Appreciate
Marcel
it.
Bruin, the old Brighton coach, his team winning by 18 points today, 12-8-80 to 9-8-62. And that is just about going to wrap things up here at Camberwell Sportsground. And just one final one around the grounds. You go for Bendigo Bank. Brendan Vavola.
Oh.
Now, 5 goals for Ely Park he kicked today. 5 and only. And you know who else got on the scoreboard?
Hughesy.
Dave Hughes got a goal. So
didn't snap in half again?
No. From all reports, he's actually in one piece at full time, which is, I think, a successful day all round for Ely Park. That would have been a tremendous spectacle. But on that note, that is going to wrap things up here at Camberwell Sportsground. Big win for the reigning premiers, Old Brighton. They win the grand final rematch by 18 points. Thank you for your company. Thank you, Hugo. And thank you to Bruce. Buttons, you've been terrific again, as always. And a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in right throughout the course of the afternoon. We look forward to having you join us again from 1:45 p.m. next Saturday at Toorak Park as Old Xavier take on St Bernard's. But until then, take care.
This has been the SEN Match of the Day. Thanks to William Buck. Join us again next week on the SEN app, sen.com.au and vafa.com.au.